Chapter 501. One was Zhao Yun's fourth daughter-in-law, Nian. Zhao Yun didn't care about what happened last time. In fact, Nian was a good person. After that, she felt sorry for Zhao Yun, so she came over to make trouble. From time to time, she would send some vegetables over. She didn't send expensive things, but after all, they were friends. In addition, Nian was a simple-minded person. She wasn't calculative and was very hard-working. It was more practical to assign someone like her to work. There were also two other women in the village. They didn't gossip before. Although they were a little dull, they were more diligent in their work. It was said that they were good at cooking. As soon as Zhao Yun arrived home, Zhao Tianfu ran over to Zhao Yun and said, "Second sister, go to grandma's place." Zhao Yun saw that Zhao Tianfu came to see her, so she asked, "Tianfu, what's the matter?" "Sister, that matchmaker is here again." Zhao Tianfu whispered, "They are now discussing eldest sister's marriage. You should go and listen." Zhao Yun smiled. It turned out that her brother wanted her to go and join in the fun. So she said, "Okay, I'll go and have a look." She wanted to know how Zhao Ping's marriage was going to be and what kind of husband matchmaker Gao had found. So she followed Zhao Tianfu to old Zhao's house. Several women in old Zhao's family were in the yard, surrounding matchmaker Gao. Li Chuiying, in particular, had a smile on her face and looked very happy. If she couldn't control her smile, her mouth would probably split open. When Zhao Yun went over, she found out that the reason why Li Chuiying was so happy was that matchmaker Gao had helped Zhao Yun find a good marriage. The man was from the town. His family ran a small business. He was the youngest son in the family, so he was very precious. According to matchmaker Gao's description, the man was good-looking and had good conditions. Matchmaker Gao was just right to find a marriage for the two of them, so she bought the two of them together. As for whether the two sides were satisfied or not, they had to meet again and confirm it. If they all agreed, then they could discuss the marriage. Even so, Li Chuiying was still very happy. After all, she had confidence in Zhao Jing'er. Her daughter was so pretty, how could he not be satisfied? Matchmaker Gao, thank you so much. Thanks to you, my daughter can find such a good marriage. Matchmaker Gao smiled and waved her hand. It's okay, it's okay. This is what I should do. It's good that you're all satisfied. Yes, of course. Li Chuiying said with a smile. This was something that many people wished for. If her daughter could really marry into the town, who knew how many people in the village would be envious? If Zhao Jing'er could really marry into a rich family in town, she would also enjoy a good life in the future. Matchmaker Gao, what about my Ping-er? What do you think? Do you have a place for my family? At the mention of Zhao Ping-er, matchmaker Gao chuckled and said, she's settled, she's settled. Liang Jinxiao was a little excited. Really? Of course it's true. Why are we still talking about you? Liang Jinxiao was usually calm, but today he was excited. After all, his eldest daughter's marriage was what worried him the most. If it was settled, he really had nothing to worry about in the future. Chapter 502. Matchmaker Gao said, "This family lives in Changshu village, but they are indeed a little poor. I have to explain this to you clearly. I can't cheat you." Liang Jinxiao nodded. He felt that since matchmaker Gao had said this to him, it meant that she was quite honest. It's okay, matchmaker Gao. Tell me more about him. Okay. Matchmaker Gao then told him about the man's situation. The man's family was relatively simple. They only had two brothers. The old couple were quite good people. They were kind and honest. Their family was too poor. They only had 1 mu of paddy land and had to rent land and harvest crops to support their family. It was precisely because their family was too poor that his two sons did not marry. How could a girl from such an ordinary family be willing to marry into their family? This time, matchmaker Gao also told the man that Zhao Ping was not very good looking. However, the other party said that a woman's appearance was not important as long as she could bear children. It was only then that matchmaker Gao started to introduce the marriage proposal. After Liang Jinxiao heard about the man's situation, he felt that it was acceptable. It was fine if he was a little poor, as long as he could treat Ping well. Moreover, when Zhao Ping married into their family, she could get more dowry and help the man's family buy a few mu of paddy land. Naturally, their life would not be so difficult. It's okay, matchmaker Gao. It's already very good. The conditions are not important. I'll arrange for the two children to meet later and see if they are suitable for each other. Liang Jinxiao said. Matchmaker Gao agreed with a smile. Okay then. She and I are from the same village and don't live far from my house. I can send a message when I go back today. You can tell me where to meet. I'll just inform their family. That's great. Since they want to meet, let's do it as soon as possible. Why don't we send them to Sun City tomorrow morning? The two children can walk around and chat for a while. If they come to my house and we adults gather together, it won't be easy for them to chat. Matchmaker Gao nodded with a smile and said, okay. I'll go back and tell their family. It's good to meet as soon as possible. If this one isn't suitable, I can help you arrange something else. Liang Jinxiao felt that matchmaker Gao's words made sense. Alright, it's settled then. Matchmaker Gao, thank you for your hard work. No trouble at all. Wait a moment, I'll go get you 10 eggs. You can take them back to eat. There's nothing good at home. Matchmaker Gao was just being polite and didn't reject her. Liang Jinxiao turned around and went into the house to get some eggs. When Li Chuiying saw that Liang Jinxiao had taken the money and even introduced such a good marriage to his family, he couldn't refuse. She begged Hua Chunhua for a long time before Hua Chunhua agreed to give her 10 eggs. Zhao Ping's face was also full of joy. After hearing matchmaker Gao's words, it meant that there was hope for her to get married. Just thinking about it made her excited. Zhao Ping was more concerned about the man's appearance. After all, Zhao Yun had found Mu Lianfeng. He was so tall and handsome, so she couldn't find someone too shabby. It was fine if he was poor, but he had to be good-looking. Otherwise, if she had a child with a man in the future and she was so ugly, wouldn't the child be even uglier? In order not to affect the next generation, she had to find someone who was slightly better looking. Chapter 503. She looked at Zhao Ping's shy, girlish demeanor. Matchmaker Gao had been a matchmaker for so many years. How could she not know what girls were thinking? Many girls cared more about the man's appearance. Hence, she smiled and replied, "Don't worry, Mississippi. I've seen him before. He's good-looking. He's fair and clean, and he's a handsome young man." Upon hearing matchmaker Gao's words, Zhao Ping looked forward to it even more. She couldn't wait to meet the man. That's good. Zhao Ping lowered her head and tugged at her handkerchief. Zhao Yun watched Zhao Ping from the side and couldn't help but want to laugh. Zhao Ping was really funny. Those who didn't know better would think that she was desperate for a man. Look at how thirsty she was. Zhao Yun thought that it would be best if this marriage could be consummated. This way, Zhao Ping would be able to get married smoothly. She hoped that when they met tomorrow, both parties would be satisfied. Liang Jinxiao and Li Chuiying took out the eggs and handed them to matchmaker Gao. Matchmaker Gao didn't continue to waste time at old Zhao's house. Instead, she bid farewell and said, "I've already brought the news for you. I'll go back first." Okay. Take care, matchmaker Gao. Oh, it's okay. You don't have to send me off. Old Zhao's people came back after sending matchmaker Gao out of the courtyard. In the courtyard, Zhao Ping, and Zhao Jing, were immersed in happiness. Zhao Yun, went forward and said with a smile, Sister Ping, Sister Jing, congratulations. Zhao Ping, was in a good mood, so she didn't quarrel with Zhao Yun, She smiled and replied, thank you, Sister Yun, Zhao Jing said, Sister Yun, thank you for your blessings. You're welcome. This is a happy occasion. I'm happy for you too. Yes, yes. Zhao Xinhui, who was sitting in the courtyard, was not as happy. She didn't expect that an ugly monster like Zhao Ping would have a chance to get married. And Zhao Jinger had found a good family. She, on the other hand, was not young anymore, but her marriage was not settled at all. It would be a lie to say that he wasn't anxious. It was just that she had high standards, unlike Zhao Ping, who could make do with any man. She wouldn't be like Zhao Jinger, who was overjoyed by the people in the town. Even if she did not want to marry someone like Mu Lianfeng, she had to at least be someone important. Seeing Zhao Xinhui's unhappy look, Hua Chunhua began to pick on the second and third branches, trying to comfort Zhao Xinhui. What are you so happy about? Second daughter-in-law, you wasted 10 eggs. And third daughter-in-law, this matchmaker already said that the family is poor, but you actually agreed. Just wait for Ping, to marry over and suffer hardships. Don't come back crying when the time comes. After hearing Hua Chunhua's words, Liang Jinxiao and Li Chuiying's expressions turned ugly. Li Chuiying still smiled embarrassedly and said fawningly, Mother, you can't say that. If Jing can marry over, the family is well-to-do, and they will definitely send us a lot of money as wedding gifts. Hua Chunhua snorted softly. Whether this will happen or not is still uncertain. Let's wait until Jing marries over before we celebrate. Third daughter-in-law is raising a good-for-nothing. The man's family is poor and probably can't afford a single cent as a wedding gift. They will probably have to pay for it. Originally, it was a good thing, and everyone was happy. However, after Hua Chunhua's interference, the joyous atmosphere suddenly disappeared. Chapter 504. Zhao Ping and Zhao Jing were so angry at Hua Chunhua that they went back to their own rooms. Liang Jinxiao couldn't say anything to Hua Chunhua. She could say whatever she wanted, as long as she was satisfied with him. Zhao Yun followed them into the room of the third branch. Mother, don't take grandmother's words to heart. She just can't bear to see others doing well. She's probably upset because auntie can't get married. Hearing Zhao Yun's words, Zhao Ping agreed, that's right, that must be it. Grandmother is jealous. Auntie is probably having a harder time getting married than me. She's too arrogant and thinks too highly of herself. Then don't think about what your grandmother said. Ping, dress up well tomorrow and see if the man is suitable for you. Speaking of this, Zhao Pinger shyly lowered her head and made a sound of acknowledgement. Mother, I know. I'll wear the new clothes you made for me tomorrow. Liang Jinxiao laughed and said, okay. Liang Jinxiao made clothes for Zhao Ping, with the bolt of cloth he bought from Yang City. Zhao Ping, only tried it on once before taking it off and putting it aside, waiting to wear it on the day of the blind date. She thought that she would have to wait for a while longer, but she didn't expect it to happen so soon. Mother, do you think he'll like me? Zhao Ping, asked shyly. Of course he will. Didn't he say that he doesn't have any requirements for looks? Those who are poor will be satisfied as long as they get a wife. Ping, don't worry. Yes, yes. Looking at Zhao Ping's eager expression, Zhao Yun couldn't help but laugh. What are you laughing at? Zhao Ping asked, thinking that Zhao Yun was laughing at her. Zhao Yun hurriedly said, Sister Ping, I'm just happy for you. I don't mean anything else. Zhao Ping wasn't sure if Zhao Yun was really laughing at her, so she had to give up and didn't argue with Zhao Yun. Before Zhao Yun left, she was stopped by Hu Chunhua. Several men from old Zhao's family had also returned from their work in the fields. "Grandma, what's the matter?" Zhao Yun asked. As for Zhao Yun, Hu Chunhua became polite. "Yun, I have something to discuss with you. If there's anything you want to say, just say it. I'll listen." "That. Yun, since you arranged for your fourth uncle to mine and your fourth aunt to cook, there are still people in old Zhao's family. Can you see if you can get your eldest uncle and second uncle, as well as your eldest aunt and second aunt to work in the fields? Our family can make more money." Zhao Yun frowned. She knew that Hu Chunhua didn't want to talk to her about anything good. This person was really obsessed with making money. It was good to make more money. Zhao Yun replied, "Grandma, if they all go, who will do the housework? Who will cook? And old Zhao's family has a lot of fields. Someone has to take care of the fields." After hearing Zhao Yun's words, Hu Chunhua thought that it was true. But when she thought of the money, she felt a little reluctant. "I'll do the housework in the future. I can also cook the rice. Your youngest aunt and eldest cousin-in-law can help. As for the work in the fields, I still have your grandpa. I can handle it." After hearing Hu Chunhua's words, Shen Pan'er finally lost her composure. She was most afraid of doing housework. Chapter 505. She didn't know how to cook either. She had never learned to cook, and she couldn't stand the greasy feeling in the kitchen. So it was really difficult for her to do housework. However, she couldn't say no. She could only persuade Hu Chunhua not to let all the women in the family work at the mine. "Grandmother, you're already so old. How can your body withstand so much torment? You should rest well at home. You haven't done any housework for so many years. If you suddenly do it, your body won't be able to withstand it. For the sake of your health, it's better not to do anything," Shen Pan said. Hu Chunhua was touched when she saw that Shen Pan was worried about her. She praised Shen Pan for being filial. "Then I'll have to trouble you, Hui, and Jing, to do this work in the future. Hui has never done anything before. I don't know if she knows how to do it. She'll learn from you when the time comes," Hu Chunhua said bluntly. Shen Pan's mouth twitched. She wanted to die. She only felt that she had dug a hole and was jumping into it. Zhao Xinhui pouted and said, "No, I won't do it. Let Pan and the others do it." Shen Pan was stunned. "Throw it to her? Old Zhao's family must be dreaming." At this time, she had to find an excuse. "Hence," she said, "Grandmother, I'm afraid I don't have much time to do it. Yang is still young. I can't leave him. I have to take care of him every day. This child doesn't want anyone else to take care of him. He just wants to stick to me. Let my mother stay. Don't let her cook at the mine." This. How could Hu Chunhua bear to give up? "Grandmother, to be honest, the people in the mine have already been confirmed. It's already not easy for me to get fourth sister-in-law in. If they were all old Zhao's people, they would be criticized to death. Also, there's too much work in the fields. My grandfather can't handle it alone. He has to leave eldest uncle and second uncle to help." Hu Chunhua wanted to say something, but she was interrupted by Zhao Baoshan. Zhao Baoshan said, "I think Yun is right. Not everyone in the family can go to the mines, and the harvest from the fields is still needed." Hu Chunhua had no choice but to give up. "All right then. Since you've said so, what else can I say? What a pity. If more people from our family go, we can make a lot of money." Shen Pan'er finally breathed a sigh of relief. Now, she didn't have to do any housework. After dealing with old Zhao's family, Zhao Yun went to talk to Nian Shi about cooking. Nian Shi was overjoyed. At the same time, she felt even more guilty towards Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun treated her so well, but she actually misunderstood her before. She was really too heartless. He had to make up for it in the future. The other reason why Madame Nian was so happy was that she and Zhao Si had separated from the family and were living independently. The money they earned was theirs, and they didn't need to share it with the other families. Sister-in-law, if there's nothing else, I'll leave first. Zhao Yun said goodbye. After all, she had to go back to cook. She would send it to Mu Lianfeng later. Yes, yes. Go back. Yuner, I know you're busy. Zhao Yuner smiled, then turned and left. Watching Zhao Yuner leave, Nian Shi and Zhao Si sighed and said, actually, Yuner is pretty good. Zhao Si said, she's pretty good. Just listen to the rumors in the village. We can only know how a person is after we get to know them. Don't believe what others say. Chapter 506. Yeah, I used to play with Yun a lot when I was young. She's the kindest girl in my family. Although she got pregnant before marriage, I think there must be a reason. We don't know the situation, so it's hard to say. Speaking of this, Nian Shi asked curiously, father of the child, whose child do you think Yun is pregnant with? Is it Prince Shizi's? I'm not sure. Daodu and Prince Shizi look quite alike. If Daodu is really Prince Shizi's child, there's one thing I don't understand. Why did Prince Shizi let Yun suffer alone with the child for a few years? Zhao Si shook his head, I don't know about that. Maybe there's a reason. We don't know what exactly it is, so we can't guess. Nian Shi sighed, I just hope this child is really Prince Shizi's. If that's the case, Yun is really lucky. Okay. It didn't take long for Zhao Yun to finish cooking. She made a dish of steamed fish head with diced hot red peppers. She bought the fish head from Yang City and brought it back. Mulan asked for the fish body and the fish bubbles. Zhao Yun and Mulan saw an old man guarding a stall for a long time. He didn't have much business, so they went over to take care of him and bought one. People in this era probably didn't eat steamed fish head with diced hot red peppers in this way. In ancient times, people in the countryside didn't pay much attention to cooking. Basically, they only put some oil and salt. There wasn't much seasoning at all. She had stayed in Prince Shizi's mansion for a few days. They were quite well behaved when cooking. They didn't put much seasoning. The fish was basically braised, steamed, or stewed. This steamed fish head with diced hot red peppers was perfect for Mu Lianfeng to try. Zhao Yun made a bowl of meat soup and a bowl of stir-fried shredded potatoes. She ate a little with Daodu at home, then walked to the foot of the mountain with the lunchbox. Zhao Yun didn't have time to see what had changed at the foot of the mountain. This was her first time here. There was a large open space at the foot of the mountain. The branches were all cut down, and many tents were set up. Among these tents, there was one that was the most luxurious. Zhao Yun didn't have to think about it. That must be where Mu Lianfeng was staying. At this time, there were quite a few people moving about. They gathered together, piled up torches, set up pots, and cooked their own food. Zhao Yun walked to the front of Mu Lianfeng's tent and called out. After confirming that it was Mu Lianfeng, she walked in. Mu Lianfeng was writing and drawing on a piece of paper. He only put down his pen when Zhao Yun came over. Are you hungry? Zhao Yun asked. Mu Lianfeng stretched his nose and sniffed. He smiled and said, actually, I wasn't hungry. But after smelling your food, I'm hungry. Zhao Yun's lips curled into a smile. Since you're hungry, then eat. I made a few dishes for you. Eat them while they're hot. Mu Lianfeng nodded. Okay. He couldn't wait to open the lunchbox. When he saw the dishes inside, the smile on his face deepened. Yun'er, you're so good to me. These dishes look delicious. Try the fish head. How does it taste? Mu Lianfeng nodded. Okay. As he spoke, he picked up his chopsticks and took a bite. He praised, Yun'er, it's really delicious. I've never eaten fish head like this. It's spicy, but it's very flavorful. Of course. How can my food not be delicious? I'm afraid that other than me, no one else can think of this method. Chapter 507. Mu Lianfeng sighed in his heart. There were so many women in the world, but there were very few who were as special as Zhao Yun. Hurry up and eat. Zhao Yun said with a smile. Okay. Zhao Yun brought a lot of rice over, and Mu Lianfeng finished it all together with the food. Looking at Mu Lianfeng's appetite, Zhao Yun didn't know what to say. She could only be glad that she could earn some money now, otherwise, she wouldn't be able to support Mu Lianfeng. After Mu Lianfeng was full, he elegantly wiped his mouth and looked like he hadn't had enough. Yun, it's so delicious. Aren't you afraid that you'll get fat from eating like this? Will I get fat from eating? If you continue eating like this, why won't you? Yun, then you're afraid that I'll get fat? Of course, you won't look good if you get fat. Then Yun, do you mind that I'm not good looking? Zhao Yun thought for a moment and said honestly, it's impossible to say that I don't mind. How many women don't like handsome men? As Zhao Yun said this, she couldn't help but lift Mu Lianfeng's chin with her hand. She stared at Mu Lianfeng's face and then clicked her tongue in admiration. What's more, this face is so handsome. In the 21st century, it's simply enough to charm thousands of girls. I think he's more handsome than Liang Chaowei and Takashi Kaneshiro. Zhao Yun's teasing trick was used to playing with the fresh meat in the office, and she accidentally used it on Mu Lianfeng again. In Mu Lianfeng's eyes, it was Zhao Yun who was teasing him. Therefore, he pulled Zhao Yun over, and Zhao Yun fell into Mu Lianfeng's arms. Mu Lianfeng sat on the chair, and Zhao Yun naturally sat on Mu Lianfeng's lap. Mu Lianfeng's sudden movement made Zhao Yun cry out in surprise. Shu, Yun'er, don't let the people outside hear us. Only then did Zhao Yun'er lower her voice. Mu Lianfeng came over and hugged Zhao Yun'er tightly. Just as he was about to kiss Zhao Yun'er, a man suddenly entered the tent. Master, I'm here. Mo Yen said. As soon as he entered the room, he was shocked by the scene in the room. This, he probably hasn't seen it before. His master actually had such a flirtatious side, flirting with women like this? Originally, he thought that Mu Lianfeng was an ignorant person. Even if he liked women, he wouldn't do anything to them. However, this somewhat overturned his thoughts. It was completely different from the aloof image he had imagined. Then he looked at the girl in his master's arms. Wasn't this girl, when Mo Yen saw Zhao Yun'er, she was slightly surprised. Before Mo Yen could think of anything, Mu Lianfeng's cold voice rang out, don't you know how to tell me before you come in? Master, I was wrong. I thought you were the only one inside. I just got here, so I was a little excited. Mo Yen tried to explain. Unfortunately, her explanation didn't seem to have much effect. Mu Lianfeng still said, why haven't you scrammed out yet? Mo Yen clamped her butt and said in a hurry, Master, I'll scram right now. Having disturbed her master's mood, Mo Yen began to worry for her life. After Mo Yen left, Zhao Yun'er was still rather embarrassed. She struggled out of Mu Lianfeng's embrace. When did you become so indecent? Because Mo Yen had seen this embarrassing scene, Zhao Yun'er's face became as red as a monkey's butt. Chapter 508. What's there to be serious about in front of my wife? Mu Lianfeng said indifferently. That won't do either. We can do it secretly in the room. It's not safe here. It's not suitable for us to do such things, Zhao Yun said sternly. Mu Lianfeng had no idea whether to laugh or cry. All he could do was say, "All right, then let's do it when we get back." Mu Lianfeng said it extremely naturally, but it made Zhao Yun blush once again. What was this guy saying? You're done eating, so I'll be going back first. Do you still need to work for a while? Zhao Yun said as she cleared away the dishes. I do need to work for a while, but Yun, can you stay with me for a while? Mu Lianfeng was rather reluctant to part with Zhao Yun like this. Time with the two of them was just too precious to him. Daodu is still at home. I'll be worried if he's alone. Zhao Yun said. Although Xiao He and Xiao Mao were with him, and Zhao Yun had told Daodu not to go out, it was still not safe for a child to be alone at home. Only when he heard Zhao Yun's words did Mu Lianfeng give up on persuading Zhao Yun to stay. Zhao Yun was important, but his precious son was important as well. Then Yun, you should go back. Why don't I send you back first? I'll come back later. There's no need. You're busy. It's not far. I can do it alone. All right then. Yun, slow down. Don't worry. I'm more familiar with this place than you. With that, Zhao Yun left the tent with the lunchbox. Mo Yen waited outside nervously. She was afraid that Mu Lianfeng would call her in and settle the score with her. Zhao Yun arrived before Mo Yen and said, "You can go in now." Yes, Mississippi. Mo Yen suddenly thought of something when she saw that Zhao Yun was about to leave. She called out to Zhao Yun, "Oh right, miss, you, what about me? Are you from this village?" "Yes." Zhao Yun nodded. "What's wrong?" Mu Lianfeng pondered for a moment and waved his hand. "Nothing." "Then I'll leave first." "All right, take care, Mississippi." Mo Yen hesitated for a moment before entering the tent. He was worried that Mu Lianfeng would torture him in some strange way. As expected, Mu Lianfeng said after Mo Yen entered, "You better dig out your eyes." Mo Yen was shocked. Her master didn't have to be so cruel, did she? "Master, I didn't see anything." "Nothing?" "Yes, master, I didn't see anything. Please let me go." Mu Lianfeng could not help but chuckle when he saw how terrified Mo Yen was. She really was a good-for-nothing. "All right, then I won't dig out your eyes. But if you do this again, I'm not sure if I'll let you go." "Master, don't worry. I definitely won't do it again." "All right." Mu Lianfeng replied indifferently. "Oh right." Mo Yen suddenly thought of something. After a moment of hesitation, she decided to tell Mu Lianfeng. "Master, do you remember 3 years ago, what happened 3 years ago?" "Master. 3 years ago, when you came to Shuilan village to investigate the mines, you were drugged by a beauty sent by the Prime Minister. At that time, I found a girl in the village to deal with you." Mo Yen began to talk about what happened 3 years ago. Mu Lianfeng frowned when he heard that. Something from 3 years ago, he still had some recollection of it, but he really did not know who the girl was, nor did he know where Mo Yen had found her. Chapter 509. You're saying that the girl from that night is in this village right now? Mo Yen nodded. "Master, to be more precise, I think that girl is Zhao Yun. Mu Lianfeng's heart could not help but tighten when Mo Yen mentioned Zhao Yun. He was unable to describe what he was feeling right now. Nervous? Excited? Excited? Disbelief? He thought about it carefully. 3 years ago. Watermist Village. His experience with Zhao Yun was just too similar. If she really was Zhao Yun, then Daodu would be his son. Although he had already regarded Daodu as his own son, the feeling in his heart was still somewhat different from knowing that Daodu was his biological son. Are you sure? Master, this is just my guess. I'll have to ask Li Zheng whether it's true or not, Mo Yen said honestly. 3 years ago, I paid him 200 taels of silver to arrange for a girl to come here. He knew that we were from the imperial court and possessed extraordinary statuses, so he didn't dare to refuse. He found a girl overnight. However, Mu Lianfeng was certain that the girl from that night was Zhao Yun. There's no need to ask. It's her. Master, Mo Yen suddenly became rather excited. If it really was Zhao Yun, then wouldn't Master really have a son? If the old madam knew about this, wouldn't she be overjoyed? As Mu Lianfeng was excited, he also sighed at the wonders of fate. As it turned out, he and Zhao Yun had already been fated 3 years ago. Zhao Yun made her way home. It was already dark, so she could only use the moonlight and her familiarity with the terrain to find her way home. When she passed by a large tree, she saw 2 figures huddled together in the distance. Zhao Yun walked closer to take a look. It was actually her second uncle and Qian Chuanxiu. Since when were the 2 of them together? Moreover, it was so late at night. Zhao Yun'er was curious and walked closer to the 2 of them. He was very careful not to make any noise. Zhao Wenxue said to Qian Chuanxiu wretchedly, "Sister-in-law, there's no one here. Let me hug you. I want to hug you." Qian Chuanxiu took a step back warily and said to Zhao Wan, Zhao family's second son, "What are you trying to do?" "Nothing, sister-in-law. I bumped into you when you went out in the middle of the night. This is fate. Don't you think so?" Zhao Wenxue smiled wretchedly. Qian Chuanxiu spat, "What fate? Don't think I don't know. You were the one who followed me secretly." After being exposed by Qian Chuanxiu, Zhao Wenxue still said shamelessly, "Sister-in-law, didn't you let me follow you? Otherwise, you would have exposed me long ago. Now, you deliberately brought me to a place with no one around so that something could happen between the 2 of us, right?" Qian Chuanxiu couldn't help but curse at Zhao Wenxue. "Zhao Wenxue, why are you so shameless? Who wants something to happen between us? Is there something wrong with your brain?" "Aya, sister-in-law." Zhao Wenxue called out and took another step forward. Qian Chunhua was so frightened that she immediately retreated, but Zhao Wenxue still caught her. Zhao Wenxue hugged Qian Chuanxiu and said, "Sister-in-law, let me hug you. You smell so good." Chapter 5:10. Zhao Wenxue chuckled. "Sister-in-law, it's the middle of the night, and there's no one around. Who can hear you?" Qian Chuanxiu was furious. She couldn't shout for help, and Zhao Wenxue couldn't push this bastard away. What should she do? Looking at Zhao Wenxue's expression, she guessed that he was determined to do something to her. Although Zhao Wenxue was good-looking, she wasn't a loose woman. She couldn't let him take advantage of her, right? Zhao Wenxue rubbed his face against Qian Chuanxiu's body and smiled wretchedly. "Sister-in-law, your man has been gone for many years. Haven't you thought about that? You shameless B*****. How can you ask such a question?" Zhao Wenxue was shameless. How could he be embarrassed to ask such a question? "Sister-in-law, women need men to touch them often. Otherwise, your mu of land will be wasted. Since your man is gone, let me do it. Sister-in-law, why don't you try my work? I promise you'll be satisfied." Zhao Wenhua's shameless words made Qian Chuanxiu embarrassed and angry. "Bah! Don't mess around with me. I won't let you plow my land even if it's wasted." With that, Qian Chuanxiu spat on Zhao Wenhua's face. Zhao Wenxue wiped his face but didn't dislike it. "Sister-in-law, let me kiss your little mouth. I want to know what it tastes like." Qian Chuanxiu didn't know what to do when she saw Zhao Wenxue's face coming closer. "You bastard! You're defiling a woman. I'll report you to the village chief later. Qian Chuanxiu's threat didn't work at all. Zhao Wenshui said, "Sister-in-law, there's no one here. No one saw anything. You don't even have a witness if you want to report me. Who would believe you?" Qian Chuanxiu was a little desperate. This damn pervert. Of all people, why did he have to target her? Now, there was no one to help him. Was he really going to be bullied by Zhao Wenshui? A widow's door was full of trouble. Over the years, many men had come to her house in the middle of the night. No man came. She held the kitchen knife and fought with her life. Those who were afraid of death naturally didn't dare to come. But now, who would have thought that at such an old age, he would fall again? She was already 36 this year. She couldn't be compared to a young woman a few years ago. Zhao Wenshui saw that Qian Chuanxiu was angry and comforted her. "Sister-in-law, you don't have to feel so wronged. Don't worry, if you follow me, you won't have any disadvantages. I heard that you wanted to cook for those miners, but Yun, girl, made you lose this opportunity. How about this? I'll go back and talk to my niece, and let her arrange for you to go in. What do you think?" When Qian Chuanxiu heard Zhao Wenshui's words, she was a little tempted. In fact, she hadn't been slept with by a man for so many years. It wasn't that she didn't want to, but she knew that if she hooked up with another man and the villagers found out, she wouldn't be able to stay in Shui Lan village anymore. Now that Zhao Wenshui hugged her like this, her body reacted a little. If Zhao Wenshui could help her get the cooking job, she would agree. "Is what you said true?" "Of course it's true. Why would I lie to you? But will your words work in front of your niece?" Chapter 5:11. Okay. Okay then. Seeing that Qian Chuanxiu was convinced, Zhao Wenshui couldn't wait any longer and pushed Qian Chuanxiu to the ground. There was soft grass on the ground, so it wasn't uncomfortable. Zhao Wenshui quickly took off his clothes and began to take off Qian Chuanxiu's clothes. Seeing Zhao Wenshui so impatient, Qian Chuanxiu couldn't help but say, "Why do you look like you haven't done it in a long time? Don't you have a wife at home?" Speaking of this, Zhao Wenshui explained as he took off his clothes, "Sister-in-law, you don't know this. My wife is not as beautiful as you. Sometimes, I can't bear to do it. Also, there's only one room at home, so it's not convenient to do it. The children at home are all grown up." "I see." Qian Chuanxiu thought about Li Chuiying's appearance. He was indeed a little ugly. He was not as beautiful as her. When she was young, she was considered one of the top girls in the entire Shuilan village. Otherwise, so many men wouldn't have come to her door after her husband died. After Zhao Wenshui took off their clothes, he began to do it. He breathed heavily and said comfortably, "Sister-in-law, your land is still the best. It's so fertile that people have died from it." Qian Chuanxiu was also pleasured by Zhao Wenhua and began to moan comfortably. Anyway, there was no one in the field, and no one would pass by when it was dark. Therefore, their moans were a little louder and louder. Zhao Yun, who was hiding behind the tree, watched the exciting live broadcast. She almost couldn't digest it. These two. Were they having an affair? Looking at the two people doing improper things on the ground, Zhao Yun couldn't help but sigh. If her second aunt saw this, I don't know what kind of trouble she would make. Thinking about it, it was a little funny. Zhao Yun didn't intend to disturb these two people, so she left quietly. When she got home, Douda leaned on the table to learn how to read. Looking at her son's strange behavior at home, Zhao Yun's mouth also raised a smile. Zhao Yun originally wanted to wait for Mu Lianfeng to come back, but she was tired. Mu Lianfeng showed no signs of coming back, so she went to bed first. She still had to wake up the next day, so she couldn't stay up too late. When Mu Lianfeng came back and saw that Zhao Yun was fast asleep, he didn't have the heart to wake her up. He wanted to talk about what happened 3 years ago tomorrow. It wasn't urgent anyway. On the other side, family Zhu. After Mulan and Zhu Eru finished that thing, they were a little satisfied, but they were very happy. As usual, Mulan felt that someone was staring at the house. Thus, he whispered into Zhu Eru's ear, "Eru, go and see who it is. Be quiet. Don't alarm him." Zhu Eru nodded. Afraid that the person outside would see that there was nothing in the house, Mulan continued to let out soft panting sounds. At the same time, Zhu Eru walked to the side of the door. Suddenly, the door opened. The person outside the door was completely caught off guard. Who would have thought that the door would suddenly open? He was so scared that he hurriedly ran away. Zhu Eru didn't give him a chance to run away. He grabbed the person. He couldn't see clearly from afar. After grabbing hold of the person, Zhu Eru was stunned. It wasn't just anyone. It was his third brother, Zhu Sanlu. Zhu Eru frowned. He thought about why his third brother wasn't lying in bed to recuperate. Why did he come to his door in the middle of the night? "Third brother, what are you doing?" Chapter 5:12. Zhu Eru's eyes sharpened. How could he believe Zhu Sanlu's nonsense? "If you didn't do anything, why did you come to my house in the middle of the night?" Zhu Eru's aura was so strong that Zhu Sanlu trembled in fear. It was mainly because Zhu Eru had a psychological shadow after stepping on his crotch last time. "Second brother, I really didn't do anything. If you don't tell me the truth, you'll have a taste of my fist." Mulan also ran out and saw Zhu Sanlu. Sure enough, there really were people who were peeking. It was her uncle again. She didn't know what he was doing. "Second brother, lower your voice. If you promise that I won't tell you, I'll tell you if you don't hit me." Zhu Eru glared at Zhu Sanlu. "You know how to negotiate with me. Second brother. Actually, I really didn't do anything. I just peeked into your house. I didn't do anything." Zhu Sanlu curled his lips with an aggrieved expression. "You just peeked? Tell me, what were you looking at in the middle of the night? Tell me the truth. If you tell me the truth, I'll gouge out both of your eyeballs." Zhu Sanlu didn't think that Zhu Eru was joking with him. He could only tremble and say, "Second brother. I can't do it myself. I just wanted to see how you and second sister-in-law did it. I can't eat meat, but it's good to have a look." After Zhu Sanlu finished speaking, Mulan's face suddenly turned red with embarrassment. Thinking about how the three of them had seen her doing it with her man, and how they had watched the whole process, Mulan felt extremely shy. Although the room was a little dark and he couldn't see clearly, Zhu Sanlu could hear all the sounds they made while they were doing it. Wasn't this eavesdropping on others? Wasn't this too perverted? Before Mulan could get angry, Zhu Eru kicked Zhu Sanlu. He began to scold, "Our family works hard to support your education, but you think about these dirty things every day. Our money is wasted on you. How can you face us?" Zhu Sanlu cried out in pain. "Ouch, second brother. I never said that I wanted to study. Weren't you the ones who forced me to go? Studying is so boring. All I do is memorize. It's not easy to become an elementary scholar. Not everyone can pass the exam." Zhu Sanlu said. He rubbed his chest. His second brother's kick was really ruthless. He couldn't even stand up. Fortunately, she didn't continue to kick him down there. Otherwise, he would really die. "How can you say such things? You must be raising a beast at home." The more Zhu Eru thought about it, the angrier he became. However, it was fortunate that they had split up, otherwise, he would probably be even angrier. "Second brother, can you lower your voice? Don't wake the others up." Zhu Eru said coldly to Zhu Sanlu on the ground, "Are you afraid of being found out?" I've never seen someone as shameless as you. I don't care about your studies, but if I catch you peeking or eavesdropping again, I'll really gouge your eyeballs out. Second brother. I won't do it again. I won't listen to you next time. Zhu Sanlu raised his hand and swore. If he couldn't eavesdrop on his second brother and second sister-in-law, then he could eavesdrop on his eldest brother and sister-in-law next time. He wasn't that stupid to take Zhu Eru's fist. Looking at his younger brother's cowardly appearance, Zhu Eru was so angry that he kicked Zhu Sanlu's body again. Mulan and Zhu Eru turned around and entered the room. Chapter 5:13. Third brother has been spoiled since he was young. He used to be young and didn't understand these things between men and women. Now that he's grown up, I don't know where he heard it from. He's probably curious. After all, he doesn't have a wife, so he can't study it with his wife. He can only look at other people's books, Zhu Eru said. This was his analysis in his heart, and it wasn't much different from the truth. Zhu Sanlu was like this because, firstly, he was getting older. Secondly, when he was studying in town, he saw the other young masters buying pornographic books to read. Out of curiosity, he bought one too. Once he started reading, he couldn't stop himself. He was addicted to it all day long, and then he became more curious about the things between men and women. Eru, sigh, I still feel uncomfortable. We should save money as soon as possible. When the time comes, we can build a new house and move out. There won't be so many problems. Lan, I'll work hard. Don't worry. Mulan responded and burrowed into her man's arms. She believed in him. The next morning, Zhao Yun took Zhao Ping to the street. Because it was her first blind date, Zhao Ping could be said to be dressed up. She put on the new clothes, smeared a lot of white powder on her face, and used red paper to touch her lips. Zhao Yun couldn't describe this feeling of Zhao Ping. She clearly looked like a clown, but Zhao Ping probably thought that she looked good in her heart. Was she sure that this appearance wouldn't scare people? If she were to scare someone to death, this marriage would be ruined. She didn't know how long Zhao Ping would stay at home. Zhao Yun thought about it and still said to Zhao Ping, Sister Ping, come, cover your face with this handkerchief. This way, he won't see the birthmark on your face. Look at half of your face, you're still a beauty. Since he said that he doesn't care about your appearance, then don't show it to him. What if you like him and he's not satisfied with your appearance? Why don't they just cover their faces and wait for the other party to agree? Once the marriage is settled, they won't have a chance to regret it. Don't you think so? Zhao Ping felt that what Zhao Yun said made sense. She was not ugly even if she covered half of her face with the birthmark. Is that all right? I'll blindfold it, Zhao Ping said as she took it. Yes. After Zhao Ping covered her face, she did look much better. Zhao Yun breathed a sigh of relief. If she went on a blind date like this, she should be able to muddle through. The car drove towards Yang City. Zhao Ping was very excited along the way. When they arrived at Yang City, Zhao Ping took care of the stall first. The man hadn't arrived yet. Matchmaker Tuogao had also told her in her message that the man could come directly to her breakfast stand. Her stall was quite famous in Yang City, so she could find it by asking anyone. The three of them were busy in front of the breakfast stand. Zhao Ping looked around anxiously, craning her head from time to time as she waited for the man to come. When Zhao Yun saw Zhao Ping's expression, she really didn't know what to say. Didn't this woman know how to be more reserved? Fortunately, there were no outsiders around. If the women in the village saw this, they would probably gossip again. Sigh, it's been so long. Why isn't he here yet? Mother, is he not coming? Zhao Ping asked after waiting for half an hour. Chapter 5:14. Zhao Ping stomped her feet anxiously and said, "Mother, but I've been waiting for so long." "Then how long do you have?" "Ping don't be anxious. Just wait a little longer. He'll definitely come." But, Zhao Ping wanted to say something, but Zhao Yun was annoyed by her and replied, "Sister Ping, why are you in such a hurry? He doesn't have a donkey carriage, so he can only come here on an ox cart. It's normal for him to be a little late." Sigh. Zhao Ping sighed and said, "I'll wait a little longer then." Okay. After about an hour, matchmaker Gao came over with a delicate-looking boy. The boy was in his early 20s. He was fair, clean, and very good-looking. He followed behind matchmaker Gao and seemed a little shy. The moment she saw matchmaker Gao, she knew that the boy behind her was Zhao Ping's blind date today. Zhao Yun glanced at him and felt that he was not bad. He was more than enough to match Zhao Ping. If it weren't for the fact that he was poor, Zhao Ping probably wouldn't have been able to marry him. When the two of them were together, it felt like a fresh flower stuck in a pile of cow dung. Of course, the fresh flower belonged to this man, and the cow dung belonged to Zhao Ping. Zhao Yun was relieved. Zhao Ping definitely wouldn't reject such a good-looking boy. The marriage was more or less set in stone. Matchmaker Gao walked over with a smile and said, "Haha, I've brought him here. This child is afraid of strangers and I was afraid that he wouldn't know, so I accompanied him." Liang Jinxiao gestured for matchmaker Gao and the boy to sit down. He specially reserved a table for them. Matchmaker Gao tugged at the boy and said, "Qin Yuan, come and sit down." Qin Yuan nodded shyly and responded. Zhao Ping's heart thumped non-stop when she saw such a good-looking man. He lowered his head even more. She thought to herself that matchmaker Gao wasn't lying. This man was really good-looking. Liang Jinxiao saw that Zhao Ping was standing shyly at the side and did not come over. He hurriedly urged her, "Ping, girl, what are you thinking about? Come here quickly." After being called by Liang Jinxiao, Zhao Ping walked over bashfully. "Mother, hurry up and come over. You two can have a chat and have some breakfast first." Zhao Ping had eaten earlier, but matchmaker Gao and Qin Yuan hadn't eaten yet. Zhao Yun was not stingy. She took a lot of delicious food from the stall to entertain the two people. "Matchmaker Gao, the two of you must be hungry. Eat something first and let the two children chat." Matchmaker Gao nodded with a smile. Naturally, she wouldn't refuse. The aroma of the breakfast had already drawn out the glutton in her stomach. Qin Yuan was embarrassed at first, but seeing that matchmaker Gao was not standing on ceremony, he couldn't be too restrained and started eating with matchmaker Gao. Matchmaker Gao was like a pig. She ate a lot of food by herself. Zhao Yun was a little disdainful, but she didn't miss the food. She ate it anyway. She wouldn't have to entertain her that many times in the future. Matchmaker Gao saw that Zhao Yun's business was doing well. She smiled and said, "It looks like you two make a lot of money in a day." Liang Jinxiao smiled and said, "It's okay. It's better than farming in the countryside." Chapter 5:15. As matchmaker Gao spoke, she whispered into Qin Yuan's ear, "Qin Yuan, did you see that? She's managing this stall and her family is very rich. If you marry this girl, her family will definitely have a lot of dowry. By then, your family won't be so poor anymore." Qin Yuan listened to matchmaker Gao's words and nodded. "I understand, Auntie Gao. Thank you for helping me. It's fine, it's fine. You don't have to be so formal with me. Later, have a good talk with that girl. You have to make sure she's satisfied." "Got it, Auntie Gao." Qin Yuan also glanced at Zhao Ping a few times. He saw that Zhao Ping was indeed quite good-looking. The half of her face that was exposed was quite pretty. Although he didn't know what the other half of her face was like, it shouldn't be too bad. Even if it was bad, there was no way around it. It was not easy to marry a wife and even have a dowry. Zhao Ping blushed when Qin Yuan glanced at her. This man was actually looking at her. She didn't know what his impression of her was, but she was very satisfied. After Matchmaker Gao and Qin Yuan finished eating, Matchmaker Gao asked Qin Yuan and Zhao Ping to walk around Yang City. They could chat more freely without anyone around them. Ping you two go ahead. Liang Jinxiao also urged. Seeing Zhao Ping shy face, he guessed that she was too embarrassed to go. Okay, Miss Ping let's go. Qin Yuan's pleasant voice rang out, making Zhao Ping's heart flutter again. Zhao Ping replied shyly, okay. Then, she followed behind Qin Yuan and walked away shyly. Zhao Yun looked at the two of them and felt that they were about the same. Matchmaker Gao continued to sit in Zhao Yun's shop and chatted with Liang Jinxiao. When Zhao Yun closed the stall, Zhao Ping and Qin Yuan also came back. Matchmaker Gao left with Qin Yuan, and Zhao Yun and her family drove the donkey back. On the way, Liang Jinxiao asked about Zhao Ping's opinion. Ping, what do you think? Are you satisfied with this person? If you agree, I'll go back and talk to Matchmaker Gao, and our families will settle the marriage. Zhao Ping nodded shyly. Mother, I think it's pretty good. It's fine as long as you think it's a good idea. Ping, it's settled then. Don't say that mother casually married you off. Mom, I won't. I think Qin Yuan is pretty good. Huh, that's good. Zhao Yun hooked up the corner of her mouth and finally solved one of her worries. When Zhao Ping got married, there would be one less scourge in the family. She reckoned that their lives would be better. On the other side, Qin Yuan and Matchmaker Gao were sitting in the bullock cart. Matchmaker Gao asked Qin Yuan for his opinion. Qin Yuan explained honestly, although I think she's a little silly, a little stupid, and maybe a little ugly according to what you said, she's still a little silly. Everything else is fine. Auntie Gao, can her family really give her a lot of dowry? Of course. Didn't you see how good her breakfast stall's business is? They can probably earn 1 or 2 taels a day. Once his daughter gets married, he'll have to compensate at least a few taels, right? Hearing Matchmaker Gao's words, Qin Yuan agreed. All right then. Auntie Gao, we'll have to trouble you to help our families arrange this marriage. Matchmaker Gao chuckled. All right, I'll help you arrange it. When the time comes, your families can set a date and arrange this marriage. Chapter 5:16. When Zhao Ping returned home, Mu Lianfeng and Daodu were both in the room. Seeing that Zhao Yun had returned, Daodu ran over excitedly and said to Zhao Yun, Mother, Daodu is not a wild child. He has a father. Zhao Yun was stunned. Didn't this child already acknowledge Mu Lianfeng as his godfather? Every day, his father would come and go. Why did he suddenly say this? I know. Zhao Yun replied with a smile. She pointed at Mu Lianfeng and said, Isn't this your father? Daodu's little brows furrowed. He nodded and shook his head. Mother, this father is Daodu's father, but he is also Daodu's biological father. Zhao Yun felt confused by Daodu's words. Daodu, mother doesn't understand. Daodu sighed. He seemed a little sad that he couldn't explain it. He could only look at Mu Lianfeng for help. Mu Lianfeng walked in front of Zhao Yun, and said to Zhao Yun, Yun, 3 years ago, the person who made you pregnant with Daodu was me. Daodu is our flesh and blood. Zhao Yun was stunned. What did Mu Lianfeng say? Daodu was their flesh and blood? The person from 3 years ago was him? Seeing that Zhao Yun was stunned, Mu Lianfeng explained in detail what happened 3 years ago. Zhao Yun finally understood. She sighed in her heart. She didn't know who Daodu's father was, and she didn't want to know. She didn't want Daodu's father to be found. But she never expected that this person was Mu Lianfeng. Yun, our fate is destined by the heavens. No matter how long it takes, I will still return to your side. Mu Lianfeng said to Zhao Yun, affectionately. Yun, in the future, I will protect you and Daodu. I will never let the two of you suffer any grievances. Trust me, when the mine is finished, I will marry you and give you a grand wedding. I will make up for all the grievances you suffered in the past. I want everyone to know that you are marrying me in a grand manner. Daodu is our child, not a wild child. He is a noble little heir. As he said, Mu Lianfeng said this, he excitedly pulled Zhao Yun into his arms. It would be a lie if she said she wasn't a little. Zhao Yun felt rather fortunate that the person back then was Mu Lianfeng. Okay. Zhao Yun replied. Thank you, Yun Mu Lianfeng said. Actually, he felt guilty for all the grievances Zhao Yun and Daodu had suffered in the past 3 years. Fortunately, Zhao Yun didn't blame him. Otherwise, he wouldn't know what to do. Looking at the smiles on Daodu and Mu Lianfeng's faces, Zhao Yun suddenly felt very happy. After a moment of warmth, Zhao Yun began to prepare lunch. Seeing that Mu Lianfeng had a lot of free time today, she asked curiously why he suddenly didn't have anything to do. Yun, Mo Yen is here. I've left everything to him. He'll take care of it. Really? Yeah. He's very capable, so this won't be a problem for him. It's not a big deal anyway, Mu Lianfeng said easily. However, Mo Yen was complaining incessantly on the mountain. If she knew that Mu Lianfeng actually said it wasn't a big deal, she would probably die from anger. Chapter 5:17. Zhao Yun nodded. So that was the case. With someone helping Mu Lianfeng would obviously be much more relaxed. If you have time, call him over for a meal. It definitely won't be good to eat with so many people. It's fine. He's easy to take care of. Just feed him some food. The corner of Zhao Yun's mouth twitched slightly. Mu Lianfeng really was quite heartless as a master. Mo Yen suddenly felt a layer of coldness on the mountain top. This bad feeling made him very uncomfortable. All right then, Mu Lianfeng's lips curled, because he still remembered what happened last night. That fellow had suddenly ruined his mood, so he had to punish him properly. If Mo Yen knew what Mu Lianfeng was thinking right now, he probably would not have entered the tent even if he was beaten to death. After lunch, Mulan and Liang Jinxiao came over again. This time, Mu Lianfeng was present, so they could not help but feel a little restrained. Zhao Yun sighed when she saw how bashful Mulan and Liang Jinxiao were. She could only let Mu Lianfeng leave and take Daodu out to play. That way, Mulan and Liang Jinxiao would not feel too uncomfortable. Mu Lianfeng felt like he had been disliked, but there was nothing he could do. He left with Daodu. Mulan and Liang Jinxiao both let out a sigh of relief after Mu Lianfeng left. Zhao Yun smiled. Mother, sister-in-law Mulan, do you seem a little afraid of him? Mulan's lips twitched. Yun, he's the young master. His status is noble. There's no reason for us not to be afraid. Yeah, Yun, the young master is different from us after all. We just feel uncomfortable in the same room. What's wrong with the crown prince? Isn't he just an ordinary person? Mother, sister-in-law Mulan, you don't have to be too afraid of him. Look at how obedient he is now. When I asked him to go out, he went out obediently. Liang Jinxiao and Mulan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Mu Lianfeng listened to Zhao Yun because he liked Zhao Yun. Ordinary people like them didn't dare to say a word in front of Mu Lianfeng. After Mu Lianfeng brought Daodu out, they strolled around the village. Daodu introduced Mu Lianfeng as his biological father and that he was not a wild child. Daodu was naturally very satisfied with Mu Lianfeng's tall and strong father. Mu Lianfeng also let Daodu do as he pleased. In fact, he was more than happy to be introduced by Daodu. He wanted everyone to know that Daodu had such a cool and powerful father. He wanted to see who would dare to bully Daodu and laugh at Daodu in the future. After Daodu was so proud of himself that he actually gave a few less children, he bumped into Zhao Tianyu on the way. "You wild child, stop lying. What do you mean by your father? Don't just randomly use a person. Who doesn't know that your mother and a wild man gave birth to you?" Zhao Tianyu said sarcastically. Actually, he was only saying this because he was jealous of Daodu. After all, Mu Lianfeng was tall, handsome, and rich. Everyone wanted a father like him. If it was someone else, it would be fine. However, it was Daodu, whom he had always bullied. Daodu glared at Zhao Tianyu angrily. "This is my father. Don't talk nonsense. Who can prove that he's your father?" That's right, Daodu muttered. Zhao Tianyu said sarcastically, "Daodu, stop dreaming. A little wild child will always be a little wild child. You'll always be a little wild child." Woo! Daodu was so angry that he cried. Chapter 5:18. After hearing Mu Lianfeng's words, Daodu stopped crying. He wiped the tears from the corners of his eyes and replied, "Daddy is right. Daodu is a man. He can't cry so easily. Daodu is the best." Mu Lianfeng praised. He was indeed his good son. Sometimes, if you can't talk it out, you can use force to solve it. Daddy is right behind you. What are you afraid of? Mu Lianfeng encouraged him. If anyone dares to bully you next time, beat them to death. Daddy will take responsibility if anything happens. When Daodu heard this, he nodded heavily. Daddy, Daodu understands. Zhao Yun was not beside them. If Zhao Yun knew about this, she would probably not know whether to laugh or cry. This Mu Lianfeng was even encouraging his children to fight. When Daodu heard Mu Lianfeng's words, he glared at Zhao Tianyu. He rolled up his sleeves and began to fight with Zhao Tianyu. "I won't allow you to talk about me like that. See if I don't beat you to death." Zhao Tianyu was naturally not afraid of Daodu's weak body. He gently pushed Daodu back, and Daodu sat on the ground. However, Daodu did not cry this time. "Daodu, get up," Mu Lianfeng said. Yes. After Daodu got up again, he rushed towards Zhao Tianyu. This time, he directly grabbed Zhao Tianyu's arm and bit down hard. "Ah! It hurts!" Zhao Tianyu cried. Just as he was about to punch and kick Daodu, Mu Lianfeng pulled Daodu over and protected Daodu in his arms. Mu Lianfeng slapped Zhao Tianyu, and Zhao Tianyu was slapped to the ground. He could not even get up. Zhao Tianyu felt wronged and cried, "Wah!" Seeing Zhao Tianyu being beaten up so badly, Daodu chuckled. He felt that Zhao Tianan deserved it. Although Mu Lianfeng should not be so calculative with a child, he was such a protective person. Whoever bullied his son, no matter who it was, he would not let them off. Daodu is amazing and brave. With Daddy here, Daodu is not afraid, Daodu said with a smile. Looking at this son of his, Mu Lianfeng's heart was filled with guilt. Based on the current situation, Daodu had been bullied by the children in the village a lot in the past. Fortunately, he would always be by Daodu's side in the future and would never let him suffer any grievances. "Father, Brother Tianyu is the worst. He used to bully Daodu all the time. Daodu is so happy to be beaten by you today," Daodu said in a soft voice. "Is that so?" Mu Lianfeng looked at Zhao Tianyu on the ground, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. Yes, yes. In that case, Daddy will continue to teach him a lesson for you. Zhao Yun had just finished her work when she saw Li Chuiying coming over crying. As soon as she saw her, she threw herself in front of Zhao Yun, and begged, Yun, I beg you, please save my Tianyu. Otherwise, he will be beaten to death. Zhao Yun was a little confused. What did it have to do with her that Zhao Tianyu was beaten up? Why did Li Chuiying come over to beg her? Second aunt, what's the matter? How would I know what happened if you came over without any reason? Zhao Yun replied indifferently. Chapter 519. Zhao Yun'er was even more confused. When did Mu Lianfeng go to teach Zhao Tianyu a lesson? Yun'er girl, I beg you. We wronged you in the past. Auntie will never speak ill of you in the future, as long as you can save my Tianyu. Li Chuiying cried pitifully. Zhao Yun'er didn't understand the specific situation, so she couldn't immediately agree. She believed that Mu Lianfeng must have his own reasons for doing so. Seeing that Zhao Yun'er didn't say anything, Li Chuiying begged Liang Jinxiao, third sister-in-law, please help me persuade Yun'er girl. I only have one precious son, Tianyu. If something happens to him, I don't want to live. Seeing that Li Chuiying was crying so pitifully, Liang Jinxiao sighed and helped Li Chuiying to plead, Yun'er, please help second aunt. Zhao Yun'er frowned, take me there first. Okay. Li Chuiying hurriedly responded and led Zhao Yun'er away. When Zhao Yun'er arrived, she didn't see that Mu Lianfeng was beating or scolding Zhao Tianyu. Instead, Zhao Tianyu was kneeling on the ground with a thorny thorn in front of him. What was going on? Zhao Yun'er walked over and asked, what are you, mother? Father is helping Daodu to teach brother Tianyu a lesson. But I didn't see you do anything. Father said that brother Tianyu has to do it himself. He has to take the thorn on the ground and hit himself until father is satisfied. Only then will he let brother Tianyu go. But brother Tianyu still doesn't dare to hit himself. Daodu explained. This, Zhao Yun'er was a bit cruel. When the thorny thorn stabbed him, there would be bloody marks on his body. It was no wonder that Li Chuiying came crying, fearing that her son would be beaten to death. Indeed, he could not withstand such torment. Zhao Tianyu knelt on the ground and cried. When he saw Li Chuiying coming over, he cried even louder. Although Li Chuiying felt sorry for Zhao Tianyu, she didn't dare to be presumptuous in front of the Shitzi. My son, if you don't make a move, you'll have to keep kneeling here until you hit yourself. Only then will I let you go. Since we can't escape, we might as well finish him off quickly, Mu Lianfeng said to Zhao Tianyu, who was lying on the ground. Ouch, 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 you have to take responsibility for your actions when you bullied others. When you bullied Daodu, why didn't you think that Daodu was in pain too? Zhao Tianyu blinked his eyes. A 6-year-old child's mind was somewhat mature. He knew that he wouldn't be able to escape today, but he really didn't dare to prick himself with those thorny thorns. Yun-er girl, please beg the Shitzi to let Tianyu go. Li Chuiying tugged at Zhao Yun-er's skirt. Zhao Yun looked at Mu Lianfeng's cold and handsome face. He had finally stood up for her son. What good would it do for her to interfere? Second aunt, you should be glad that the Shitzi didn't kill Tianyu and only punished him. Don't you know that Daodu is the Shitzi's biological son? Not only did Tianyu call Daodu a little bastard, he even bullied Daodu. The Shitzi's punishment isn't too severe, right? When Zhao Yun-er's words came out, everyone present was stunned. Yun, a girl, what are you saying? Daodu really is the Shitzi's biological son. Chapter 520. This. Li Chuiying wasn't an idiot. She naturally understood the consequences of Daodu being Mu Lianfeng's son. She didn't know the specifics, but Mu Lianfeng definitely had his reasons for protecting Daodu and Zhao Yun. She sighed helplessly and said to Zhao Tianyu, "Tianyu, just hit yourself a few times. If you don't, mother won't be able to save you." "Whoa, mother, it'll only hurt for a while. It'll be fine soon." "Mother, good, good, good. Once you're done, mother will buy you some candy." Zhao Tianyu was afraid of Mu Lianfeng and was persuaded by Li Chuiying. In the end, he picked up the thorn and hit himself a few times. Mu Lianfeng wanted to punish the chicken to warn the monkey, so he didn't pursue the matter. From today onwards, no child would dare to say that Daodu was a bastard or bully Daodu. "Let's go, Daodu. If anyone bullies you next time, just call them Daddy. Daddy will help you teach them a lesson no matter what." "Okay." Daodu cheered. Mu Lianfeng finally lifted Daodu up and placed Daodu on his shoulder. Looking at the big and small shadows on the ground, Zhao Yun felt a touch of warmth in her heart. From now on, there was one more person who stood up to protect Daodu. It made her feel that no matter how difficult the road ahead was, she was no longer alone. "Mother, come quickly, let's go home." Daodu turned his head and called out to Zhao Yun. "Okay, mother will come right away," Zhao Yun said as she caught up with the father and son. Nothing major happened over the next few days. The men in town were gradually recruited to work in the mountains. Zhao Ping's marriage had reached a point where it was being discussed. Matchmaker Gao sent someone over to say that the man had agreed and was preparing for the wedding. The woman could also prepare. A few days later, the man's parents and Qin Yuan came to Shui Lan village with things. "Yun, let's eat together at noon." Matchmaker Gao said that the man will come over later in the day and have lunch at our house. "Your Jia's marriage is a big deal. It's best if all of our family is present. You're smart, you can help them deal with whatever they say." Liang Jinxiao said to Zhao Yun, on the way back from Yang City. Mu Lianfeng was having lunch on the mountain today. If he didn't come back, she could bring Daodu to Liang Jinxiao's place. So she replied, "Okay, mother, I'll help you cook later. Since they're here, they're guests after all. We have to make some delicious food to entertain them." Qiao S's Tuza's marriage est. Otherwise, if this marriage is ruined, it will be difficult to find another one for your sister Ping. That's right. It wasn't easy to find a man who was willing to marry Zhao Ping. Zhao Ping was also satisfied with him. It would be a pity if the marriage failed. Qiao didn't have the energy to worry about Zhao Ping's marriage. After returning to Shui Lan village, Zhao Yun put down her things and went straight to old Zhao's house. The man's family had already arrived. Qin Yuan's parents were about the same age as Zhao Yun's parents. However, because they were poorer than old Zhao's family and had more land to manage, they looked much older. They were dark and skinny and looked like honest people. They had just arrived. Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao asked them to sit down. "Ping, pour them a glass of water." "What are you doing?" Liang Jinxiao urged. Zhao Ping reacted and immediately did as Liang Jinxiao instructed. Chapter 521. After all, they were her future in-laws. She had to leave a good impression on them. "Uncle, aunt, you must be thirsty. Have some water." Zhao Ping poured 2 glasses of water and handed them over. The Qin couple smiled and took the glasses. Okay. Thank you. You're such a good child." Zhao Ping blushed slightly after being praised by the Qin couple. Zhao Ping then poured another glass for Qin Yuan and said, "Brother Yuan, this is for you." Qin Yuan also took the glass and smiled at Zhao Ping. "Thank you, Ping. You're welcome. We're going to be a family in the future. Why are you being so courteous?" After Zhao Ping finished speaking, everyone present burst into laughter. The Qin couple said, "That's right. After the two children get married, we're going to be a family. Why are you being so courteous? You guys continue chatting. I'm going to the kitchen to cook," Liang Jinxiao said. "Sorry to trouble you, sister-in-law," Qin Yuan's mother said. Liang Jinxiao smiled slightly. "No problem. Mother, I'll help you too." Zhao Yun followed her mother. The mother and daughter could also hear the commotion in the house. Zhao Yun had prepared a lot of meat dishes. There was meat, fish, and all kinds of vegetables. In the countryside, even the New Year might not necessarily be so delicious. In order to satisfy everyone, Zhao Yun personally cooked this meal. Her culinary skills were much better than Liang Jinxiao's. Moreover, she could stir-fry each ingredient in different ways. After a while, a fragrant smell wafted from the kitchen. The fragrance of the dishes floated all the way to the third branch's house. When the Qin family smelled the alluring fragrance of the dishes, they couldn't help but swallow their saliva. No wonder matchmaker Gao said that the bride's family was well-to-do. If they weren't well-to-do, they wouldn't be willing to eat such good food. The Qin couple smiled and said to Zhao Wenhua, "You're too polite. You're even treating us like this. It makes us feel a little embarrassed. After all, we didn't bring much. Sigh. Our family is too poor. We can't afford anything. Otherwise, we would definitely bring the best for you." Zhao Wenhua waved his hand and said, it's fine as long as he's here." As long as the intention was there, it didn't matter how many things there were. These days, the lives of us commoners aren't easy. Who doesn't have a difficult time? The Qin couple nodded in agreement. They thought that Zhao Wenhua was a reasonable person. It was naturally good to be in-laws with such a person. You must be tired after such a long journey. You can have a good meal later. My second daughter's cooking skills are pretty good, Zhao Wenhua said with a smile. With Zhao Wenhua's words and the occasional fragrance from the kitchen, the Qin family became even more impatient. They couldn't wait to eat immediately. Their family was poor and they couldn't even afford to eat rice, let alone these things. "Oh right, it's almost time to eat. Ping, do you want to take off the veil on your face? Otherwise, it won't be convenient for us to eat. Also, we haven't seen what Ping looks like," Qin Yuan's mother said. She was curious about Zhao Ping's appearance under the veil. Matchmaker Gao said that she was ugly, but with the veil, she didn't look that ugly. When Qin Yuan's mother said this, Zhao Ping became a little nervous. She could escape today, but she couldn't always wear a veil when she married into the family. She prepared herself. "I'm not good looking. I'm afraid I'll scare you." Chapter 522. Zhao Ping was relieved after hearing the Zhao couple's words. Qin Yuan had always said that he didn't care about her appearance, so Zhao Ping took off the handkerchief on her face bashfully. The family Qin's people, who had said that they didn't care, were stunned when they saw Zhao Ping's appearance. The family Qin's people thought that Zhao Ping was just ugly, but they didn't expect Zhao Ping to be so ugly. The obvious birthmark on her face was a little shocking. They really didn't want to look at it a second time after seeing it. If they married her, they would have to face it every day. How could they stand it? The Qin couple pulled the corners of their mouths awkwardly. They didn't particularly mind it, but their son, they didn't want to scare him when they slept on the same bed in the future. The Qin couple glanced at Qin Yuan. Seeing that Qin Yuan's expression wasn't very good, he stared at Zhao Ping's face with a trace of disdain in his eyes. The Qin couple coughed softly to remind Qin Yuan. Disdain was disdain, but he couldn't show it in front of the host. Besides, Zhao Ping was indeed a little ugly. Her family was rich, and they themselves said that they didn't mind her appearance. If they broke off the engagement because of her appearance, it would be unkind of them. However, they were more or less dissatisfied with matchmaker Yu Gao in their hearts. She only said that Zhao Ping was ugly, but didn't say that Zhao Ping could be ugly to this extent. The Qin couple forced a smile and said to Zhao Pinger, actually, it's okay. It's not that ugly. I've seen many people uglier than you. Yuan, don't you think so? Qin Yuan's mother, Mu Chunfang, sat next to Qin Yuan and poked Qin Yuan with her arm. Qin Yuan was stunned for a few seconds before he realized it. The corners of his mouth twitched as he replied, yes, that's right. Luckily, it's not that ugly. Although he said that, Qin Yuan didn't think so in his heart. He didn't want to look at Zhao Ping's face a second time. Perhaps Zhao Ping's appearance was far from what he had expected. He was a normal man. It would be a lie to say that he didn't care about a woman's appearance. If not for the fact that his family was poor, he would also want to marry a good-looking wife. When Zhao Ping heard the Qin couple and Qin Yuan say this, she felt relieved. She smiled shyly and stole glances at Qin Yuan from time to time. Qin Yuan felt extremely uncomfortable being stared at by Zhao Ping. It would have been fine if he was being stared at by a beauty, but he was being stared at by such an ugly woman. Qin Yuan had no choice but to look elsewhere. Zhao Wenhua and the Qin couple chatted for a long time. As they chatted, they had a rough understanding of Zhao Ping's family situation. Hearing Zhao Wenhua's words, their family was very rich. If Qin Yuan married Zhao Ping, then their family would more or less receive help in the future. Perhaps they wouldn't have to live such a hard life. When the Qin couple saw that their son was very unhappy, they thought that they should go back and persuade him to do some psychological homework. For their family, no matter what, they had to marry Zhao Ping. In the kitchen, Zhao Yun and Liang Jinxiao worked together to prepare the dishes. They brought the dishes to the third branch's room and invited the Qin family to eat. Chapter 523. They never expected that the bride's family would have so much delicious food. There were fish and meat, and they were so hungry that they swallowed their saliva. Family Qin's family rarely ate meat in a year, so they could not resist the temptation of these dishes. Moreover, these dishes were so delicious that they were definitely more delicious than the meat they made. After all, they were not in their own home, so the Qin family restrained themselves and were too embarrassed to eat. They could only eat if the host allowed them to. While waiting for Zhao Wenhua's family to speak, they kept glancing at the dishes on the table. Liang Jinxiao laughed and said, "Come, hurry up and eat. We only prepared this much today. Don't be shy and eat to your heart's content." The Qin couple smiled at Liang Jinxiao and said, "Sister-in-law, your family's food is really good. There's fish and meat. Most people don't even have as many dishes as your family during the New Year." Liang Jinxiao smiled and said, "You are important guests, so of course we have to treat you well. In the past, my family often didn't get to eat meat, but now we often get to eat meat. It's okay, when the days get better in the future, these won't be a problem." Liang Jinxiao did not mean anything else when he said these words, and he did not think too much about it. When the Qin couple heard this, they sighed in their hearts that Zhao Ping's family was really not ordinary. How good would it be if their family could eat meat often in the future? At the same time, the members of the Zhao family also sat around the table. The table was not big, so they could only squeeze together. Zhao Ping happily squeezed onto the same stool as Qin Yuan. Qin Yuan furrowed his brows slightly, appearing to be unhappy. Zhao Ping did not catch the expression on Qin Yuan's face. Instead, she continued to lean closer to Qin Yuan, as if she wanted to stick her whole body to Qin Yuan. Zhao Yun sighed. Even if Zhao Ping liked him, she shouldn't be like this, right? Aren't you afraid of incurring the wrath of the Qin Yuan by being so unreserved? In front of so many people, Zhao Yun couldn't remind Zhao Ping The Qin couple secretly winked at Qin Yuan. Only then did Qin Yuan restrain the disgust in his eyes. Eat, eat. It's not easy for our two families to gather together today. Let's have a good meal together. Don't be shy. Zhao Wenhua greeted with a smile. Father. Zhao Ping called out shyly. Zhao Wenhua asked, What's wrong, Ping? Father, didn't little sister Yun give you a jar of good wine before? You don't even take out the good wine when treating people like this. Zhao Ping said bashfully. As he spoke, he glanced at the Qin couple. He was just trying to curry favor with them. Upon hearing that it was good wine, Qin Yuan's father, Qin Dahai's eyes lit up. His favorite drink was wine. However, with his family's financial situation, he couldn't even afford cheap wine, let alone other good wine. Zhao Wenhua patted his head and said, Ping is right. Look at my memory, I forgot to bring out the wine. I'll go get it. Liang Jinxiao stood up and took out the wine that Zhao Yun had brought over. Zhao Wenhua took it and filled Qin Dahai's bowl with wine. He hadn't even drunk it yet, but he could tell that it was good wine just by smelling the aroma. Chapter 524. On one hand, these words were meant for Zhao Ping, and on the other hand, for Qin Yuan to hear. He only hoped that by saying this, Qin Yuan would be able to accept Zhao Ping, Qin Yuan was somewhat displeased. He thought about how his father could sell him out just because of some wine. Come, don't just sit there. Hurry up and eat, hurry up and eat. Zhao Wenhua chuckled and called out to them. The Qin family was already impatient. When Zhao Wenhua said this, they did not hold back and began to eat. It was unknown if it was because they had never eaten such delicious food before, but the Qin family kept eating. They seemed to have forgotten that they were at someone else's house and did not hold back. Fish meat was good to begin with. With Zhao Yun's excellent cooking skills, to the Qin family, it was simply a heavenly delicacy. Zhao Yun was not very satisfied with the Qin family's performance at the dining table. Although she could understand that the Qin family was too poor and could not resist the temptation of delicious food, they kept eating as if they were afraid that others would snatch the food away. But they could not be like this. The Qin family gave Zhao Yun the same feeling that Ma Xiaofeng gave her. It was a very bad feeling. Zhao Yun's opinion of the Qin family was not important. It was fine as long as Zhao Ping was satisfied. When Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao saw that the Qin family was eating so happily, they did not want to talk about other things. They wanted to spoil their mood and wait for them to finish eating. At the dining table, Zhao Ping attentively kept putting food into Qin Yuan's bowl. Qin Yuan stared at the chopsticks that Zhao Ping had eaten and felt extremely disgusted. If it were not for the fact that the food was too delicious, he would not have taken it. After they finally finished eating, Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao prepared to have a good chat with the Qin couple about their children's marriage. Ouch! Qin Yuan cried out as she clutched her stomach. Her face was slightly red, and she looked a little shy and embarrassed. What's wrong, Yuan? Mu Chunfang asked Qin Yuan with concern. I have a stomachache, and I want to go to the toilet, Qin Yuan said in a low voice. This was the first time he had come to the girl's house, and he had already told her about it. It was indeed embarrassing. The dishes on the table had not been cleaned up, and the others were very embarrassed. Fortunately, these words were not heard during the meal just now. Otherwise, this table of people would not be able to continue eating. When the others did not know what to say, Zhao Ping jumped out and said, Big brother Yuan, then go and poop. I'll bring some toilet paper to accompany you. After Zhao Ping finished speaking, she eagerly took out a tissue and handed it to Qin Yuan. Let's go, big brother Yuan. I'll go with you. Zhao Ping said. She said it with a natural expression and did not think there was anything wrong with it. Qin Yuan was completely stunned. He, a man, was going to poop. Why was she, a woman, following him? The Qin couple was shocked by Zhao Ping's words. They thought that as a girl, how could she have the nerve to say such words? Didn't she know how to be a little reserved? She said that she was passionate, but she could not follow a man to poop. After all, they were not married yet. It was really not good for her to do so. Chapter 525. Zhao Ping thought that Qin Yuan cared about her. Well, I won't go with you. You can do it by yourself. Zhao Yun stood aside. She couldn't describe her feelings. She wondered if Zhao Ping was retarded. Apart from this explanation, she couldn't think of any reason why Zhao Ping would do such a thing. This idiot hoped that she could get married successfully this time. She should go and harm other people. She shouldn't continue to stay at home and harm them. Qin Yuan finally breathed a sigh of relief. Then I'll go. Okay, Brother Yuan, the latrine is just behind my yard. Be careful. Okay. Qin Yuan answered and quickly ran out with his legs between his legs. If Zhao Ping continued to delay him, he would probably shit into his pants. Seeing Qin Yuan rushing out in a hurry, Zhao Yun knew that Qin Yuan was anxious. Family Qin didn't have much money, so they usually didn't eat good food. There wasn't much oil in the dishes. Today, they came to her house and ate so many oily dishes at once. It would be strange if their stomachs didn't complain. Ordinary people's stomachs couldn't stand it. Zhao Yun deliberately didn't stop the family Qin when she saw them eating like crazy just now. She knew that if they ate too much, she would be the one who suffered in the end. Qin Yuan walked out of old Zhao's yard. After catching a glimpse of the latrine, he rushed over as fast as he could. But before he could enter, he suddenly stopped in his tracks. Because he heard a series of fart sounds coming from inside. Without a doubt, someone was defecating inside. Qin Yuan felt that his feces were about to come out. He finally rushed to the latrine with great difficulty, but there was someone inside. At this moment, he was so anxious that he didn't know how to describe it. It was as if he was doing acupuncture. It was abnormally uncomfortable. Just when he was about to suffocate, the person inside let out a series of dong 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 sounds and made a series of comfortable sounds. It sounded like a girl's voice. He frowned, thinking that if it was a man, it would be easier to negotiate. Since he had enjoyed himself for a while, he could quickly wipe his ass and let him in. He wasn't a child, so he couldn't just randomly pick a spot to squat down and poop. Qin Yuan wanted to say something, but he was afraid that if he did, the girl inside would fall into the latrine pit. After all, a big man was standing outside when a girl was taking a dump. She would be scared out of her wits. Thus, he clamped his legs together and prepared to wait outside. He would go in when the people inside came out. Suddenly, he regretted not bringing Zhao Ping. Otherwise, Zhao Ping could tell the woman inside. To the disappointment of the Qin Yuan, the people inside didn't look like they were about to come out. Instead, they were humming a tune inside. Qin Yuan was shocked. The latrine was so smelly. How could he have the leisure to stay in there and not come out? This girl was a little too strange. La 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 ah. No, if I don't poop now, it'll really reach my crotch. Qin Yuan had no choice but to clear his throat and say to the woman in the latrine, "Miss, I don't know if you're done with your sh*t. I heard you were singing, so I guess you're almost done. Why don't you wipe your ass and let me in?" Chapter 526. No, I'm not a pervert. Miss, don't get agitated. I just had a stomachache and wanted to take a dump. You were here when I came over. I couldn't hold it in anymore, so I spoke to you. I didn't see anything wrong with you. Qin Yuan hurriedly explained. He was a decent person. How could he be called a pervert? He didn't want others to misunderstand him. Damn pervert. You're in someone else's latrine and you still say you're not a pervert. This latrine belongs to my family. Why are you here? Someone inside asked angrily. This person was none other than Zhao Xinhui. Zhao Xinhui was no longer in the mood to continue taking a dump and singing. She hurriedly took a piece of tissue paper and wiped her butt. The moment she came out, she saw a fair-skinned little boy. He was quite good-looking. However, his face was red from holding it in. Seeing Zhao Xinhui come out, Qin Yuan hurriedly rushed into the latrine and closed the door. He took off his pants and emptied his bowels into the latrine. Zhao Xinhui's mouth twitched a few times. She didn't even have time to say anything before he rushed in. Huff, huff. It feels so good. Qin Yuan panted. At this moment, he realized that one of the most enjoyable things in the world was probably the moment he suddenly released his bowels after holding it in for too long. Qin Yuan's stomach felt much better and he wasn't in such a hurry. Instead, he squatted in the latrine and continued to take his time to clean it. Zhao Xinhui, who was outside the latrine, didn't leave immediately. Anyway, she was thick-skinned and didn't know how to be shy. She didn't feel anything when she saw a man taking a dump. Moreover, he hadn't explained anything. How could she let him go just like that? Hence, she asked Qin Yuan inside, I'm guessing you're Zhao Ping's blind date, right? Zhao Xinhui knew that Zhao Ping's future in-laws had come today. When they came, she was in the house and didn't see them. Since Zhao Xinhui was talking to him, Qin Yuan couldn't not answer, so he answered, yes. After replying to Zhao Xinhui, he realized that it was strange. How could he talk to a woman while taking a dump? Oh, it's true. Zhao Xinhui snorted. What's wrong? Qin Yuan asked curiously. That's exactly why you're so brave. How could you bear to lay your hands on such an ugly woman like Zhao Ping? Zhao Xinhui's tone carried a hint of mockery. Well, Miss Gu, to be honest with you, I'm from a poor family, and I'm lucky to have a wife. Although this Ping is a little ugly, she can give birth. At the very least, she can pass on her ancestral line. Qin Yuan explained honestly. Zhao Xinhui nodded. So that's what happened. He suddenly began to sympathize with Qin Yuan. Just because his family was poor, he had to marry an ugly woman. Oh, I wonder if you're Ping's, Zhao Xinhui answered. I'm her aunt. Oh, Ping has an aunt. I didn't expect that you'd be so young and beautiful. If you didn't say it yourself, other people wouldn't be able to tell. Compared with Ping, you're like a fairy. Qin Yuan stuck his head out of the latrine and had a glance at Zhao Xinhui. After seeing Zhao Xinhui's appearance clearly, he complimented her. Zhao Xinhui was flattered by Qin Yuan's compliment, and felt very happy in her heart. Chapter 527. Afraid that Qin Yuan would misunderstand, Zhao Xinhui explained, you're a fresh flower, and she's cow dung. Qin Yuan smiled shyly. I'm not a fresh flower, am I? Zhao Xinhui stared at Qin Yuan's face carefully. You're really good looking. Anyway, Ping doesn't deserve your good looks. Sigh. Qin Yuan sighed. The more he spoke, the sadder he felt. He thought about Zhao Ping's face. If he had to face her every day and have children with her, how would he live in the future? Qin Yuan looked at Zhao Xinhui's face again and wondered why his blind date today was not Zhao Xinhui, but Zhao Ping. The two of them chatted in front of the latrine for a long time. Zhao Xinhui thought that Qin Yuan was interesting, while Qin Yuan thought that Zhao Xinhui was good-looking and wanted to get closer to her. When Qin Yuan's stomach was clean and he realized that it was time to get up, his legs were numb because he had been squatting for too long. Ouch! Qin Yuan cried out. Fortunately, he had quick reflexes and grabbed the latrine's wooden door. Otherwise, he might have fallen into the manure vat. Huff, huff. Qin Yuan patted his chest, still in a state of shock. Fortunately, he had grabbed the door in time. If he hadn't grabbed it in time, or if he hadn't, he would have fallen into the manure vat. He would have been covered in manure and would have stinked to death. The main thing was to stink. It didn't matter if it was a little disgusting. Such an embarrassing thing would definitely make him a laughingstock. Zhao Xinhui heard Qin Yuan's movements and hurriedly asked, "What's wrong with you?" My legs are numb. I can't stand. Sigh, what should I do?" Qin Yuan sighed. Zhao Xinhui felt that Qin Yuan was acting this way because she had chatted with her for a long time. She also had to bear some responsibility. Thus, he said to Qin Yuan, "Let me give you a hand." Qin Yuan blushed and asked shyly, This isn't good, is it? I am a man." Zhao Xinhui interrupted Qin Yuan and said, "That's enough. Let's not talk about these useless things. When you and Ping get married in the future, you'll be my niece-in-law. What's the big deal? Besides, there's no one here. If I don't help you, who will? Could it be that you want to stay in this latrine pit? Don't wait until I'm gone, and no one will know if you fall in and drown." Hearing Zhao Xinhui's words, Qin Yuan didn't refuse. He smiled shyly and said, That's fine. Auntie thanks you." Qin Yuan didn't know how to address Zhao Xinhui. She could only follow Zhao Ping and call Zhao Xinhui Auntie. "You're welcome." Zhao Xinhui waved her hand. As she spoke, she walked towards the latrine pit. The moment she entered, she screamed. "You! Why aren't you wearing pants?" Zhao Xinhui asked as she pointed at Qin Yuan's thing. However, after Zhao Xinhui asked that question, her gaze didn't leave Qin Yuan's thing. She couldn't help but take a few more glances. She had never seen a man's thing before. However, she had seen a child's thing once. It was definitely different from an adult's. Zhao Xinhui was a little puzzled as she looked at Qin Yuan's thing, which was the size of a bean, hidden in the dark forest below. Why was it so small? In the past, when she listened to her parents, her mother would always complain that her father's thing was too big and that it would be uncomfortable to stuff it in. She then looked at Qin Yuan's. It shouldn't be uncomfortable to stuff it in, right? Chapter 528. As he spoke, he hurriedly reached out to pull up his pants. Unfortunately, with one hand holding the door and the other holding up his pants, he was unable to fasten the belt of his pants. What should he do? If he let go of the other hand, he would not be able to support himself and would fall into the latrine pit. "Auntie, can you help me up now? I have to pull up my pants." "I can't do it with one hand," Qin Yuan said awkwardly. "Well, why don't I help you? You can hold the door yourself," Zhao Xinhui said. "Auntie, that's not very good." Qin Yuan felt that he had never been stared at by a woman. Moreover, she even offered to help him pull up his pants. If someone else stared at him, he would probably feel very uncomfortable. He didn't know why, but when Zhao Xinhui saw it, he felt some joy in his heart. "I'm a woman. If I can't hold you up, both of us will fall into the latrine pit. Let me help you." Qin Yuan thought that what Zhao Xinhui said made sense, so he nodded and said, "Okay, Auntie, help me." "Thank you. It's okay. It's not a big deal." Zhao Ping stretched out her hands and looked at Qin Yuan's thing. She could not help but want to reach out and flick it a few times. In the end, she resisted and quickly pulled up Qin Yuan's pants. The moment Zhao Xinhui leaned over, Qin Yuan's heart could not stop beating. He felt a rush of excitement. This girl was so good. She was good-looking and kind-hearted. Done. Zhao Xinhui clapped her hands and said. Thank you, Auntie. You're welcome. Let's go out. The latrine pit stinks. It was fine when I was pooping just now. Why is it so smelly after you're done? Zhao Xinhui fanned the smell and said while pinching her nose. Qin Yuan smiled awkwardly and said, Auntie, maybe it's because your poop smells good and mine smells bad. Zhao Xinhui was amused by Qin Yuan's words. This man's mouth really knew how to make people happy. Even her feces were said to be fragrant by him. His impression of Qin Yuan had greatly improved. Don't talk nonsense. Do you think I'm stupid? Whose shit smells good? Let's go, let's get out of here quickly. Okay, Auntie. Qin Yuan answered happily. Inside the house, the family Qin couple, Zhao Wenhua, and Liang Jinxiao were discussing the marriage of Zhao Ping, and Qin Yuan's children. He wanted to set a date as soon as possible and hold the wedding ceremony. Zhao Ping waited for a long time, but Qin Yuan did not return. She said somewhat anxiously, Why isn't Big Brother Yuan back yet? Did he fall into the latrine? Zhao Yun'er was drinking water when she choked on Zhao Ping's words. Zhao Ping was such a weirdo. She would never stop until she said something shocking. Yeah, Yuan has been pooping for a long time. Why isn't he back yet? Mu Chunfang also felt that it was strange and frowned. Maybe his stomach hurts too much, so he stayed in the latrine pit for a while longer, Qin Dahai replied and told Mu Chunfang not to be too worried. Uncle, who poops for such a long time? His legs can't take it. Zhao Ping said anxiously. Qin Dahai thought that was indeed the case. If one stayed in the latrine pit for too long, their legs would become very numb. Chapter 529. Zhao Yun was just joking. She didn't expect Zhao Ping to take it seriously. Zhao Ping felt that Zhao Yun's words made sense, so she nodded in agreement. Little sister Yun, you're right. I'll go take a look now, in case anything happens to Big Brother Yuan. This time, the Qin couple didn't stop Zhao Ping. They were also worried about Qin Yuan. Then, Ping, you should go and take a look. Please don't let anything happen to him. Yeah. Let's go take a look. Yes, yes. Zhao Ping nodded heavily. I'll go now. After saying that, she ran out of the room of the third branch. Zhao Yun's mouth twitched. Weirdo, too freaking weirdo. She really didn't know what to say. They were clearly born from the same mother. Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao were also quite normal. Why did they have to give birth to such a brainless person like Zhao Ping, when the rest of them were fine? She couldn't care less about Zhao Ping's matters. She just hoped that she wouldn't cause trouble for her. When Zhao Ping rushed to the latrine, she discovered that Qin Yuan was actually with Zhao Xinhui. Moreover, the two of them were even hugging each other. Zhao Ping was instantly enraged. She thought that something had happened to Qin Yuan and ran over worriedly. She didn't expect that Qin Yuan was actually intimate with her aunt. Zhao Ping already treated Qin Yuan as her man. How could she stand him being so intimate with someone else? She believed that Qin Yuan was fine. It was definitely her aunt who seduced Qin Yuan. After all, her aunt didn't have a man. When she saw her aunt, she couldn't help but reach out to snatch him. B*TCH, B*TCH. Zhao Ping fiercely gritted her teeth and rushed towards Zhao Xinhui. "Aunt, why are you so despicable? How dare you seduce my man? Let me tell you, big brother Yuan is mine, and only mine. Don't even think about snatching him away. Otherwise, I'll tear your face apart. Let's see how you can get married in the future." Zhao Ping said angrily. She stared at Zhao Xinhui's face with jealousy. She knew that her aunt was good-looking, and the clothes she wore were even prettier than hers. It was because of this that she was able to seduce people. Men liked flirtatious women. Ouch! How could Zhao Xinhui withstand Zhao Ping's fierce push? He fell to the ground and couldn't get up. "Zhao Ping, what are you doing?" Zhao Xinhui glared at Zhao Ping. What a crazy woman. Qin Yuan was stunned. Then, she hurriedly fell to the ground and asked Zhao Xinhui with concern, "Auntie, are you okay? Does it hurt? Shall I rub it for you?" Seeing Qin Yuan's heartache and concern for Zhao Xinhui was even more jealous. She stomped her feet hatefully and said, "Big brother Yuan, how could you be seduced by my aunt? You don't know what kind of person my aunt is. She's terrible. She seduced you because she can't bear to see me doing well. She's not sincere towards you at all. You have to keep your eyes open. Don't be fooled by her." Qin Yuan was even more disgusted with Zhao Ping. She replied coldly, "Zhao Ping, what nonsense are you talking about? Your aunt saw that my legs were numb from squatting in the latrine, so she just helped me up. She clearly had good intentions, but you made it sound like she was seducing you. You're the one with a filthy heart. Do you think everyone is like you?" Zhao Ping was stunned. Her aunt only helped Qin Yuan up. Then didn't she really misunderstand her? Chapter 530. Zhao Xinhui was really thinking for Qin Yuan. She didn't want Qin Yuan to be so pitiful as to marry an ugly and stupid woman like Zhao Ping. Qin Yuan was silent for a moment. He didn't know whether he would marry her or not, but he did have to seriously discuss it with his parents later. Zhao Ping panicked and looked at Qin Yuan pitifully. "Big brother Yuan. I'm sorry. I was too impulsive and misunderstood you. Please don't be angry with me. It wasn't easy to find a man who was willing to marry her. Moreover, she felt pretty good about it. If she ran away just like that, wouldn't she suffer a huge loss? She probably wouldn't be able to find another man who was willing to marry her in the future." Humph. Qin Yuan snorted softly and continued to ignore Zhao Ping. At the end of the day, he was still angry at Zhao Ping for treating Zhao Xinhui this way. When he saw that Zhao Xinhui was injured, his heart also ached. "Auntie, are you okay?" Qin Yuan asked with concern, his gaze much gentler. "I almost died," Zhao Xinhui replied. She glanced at Zhao Ping and realized that she was looking at her with eyes full of jealousy. Zhao Xinhui curled her lips and decided to anger her again. Thus, she leaned on Qin Yuan's body and said to Qin Yuan, "It hurts, it hurts, it hurts too." Zhao Xinhui pointed at her arms and legs. "Auntie, let me help you rub them," Qin Yuan said attentively. On one hand, it was because his heart ached for Zhao Xinhui and he wanted to help her rub them. On the other hand, he felt that it was his blessing to be able to touch Zhao Xinhui's body. Zhao Xinhui replied faintly. Qin Yuan's hand then rested on Zhao Xinhui's body and started to rub and pinch. "It still hurts. I can't walk. How can I go back?" Zhao Xinhui said deliberately. Qin Yuan hurriedly squatted in front of Zhao Xinhui and said to Zhao Xinhui, "Auntie, let me carry you back." "All right, that's all we can do." Zhao Ping was already mad with jealousy. How could this be? How despicable. Her aunt did it on purpose. Because he had deliberately smiled at her just now, as if he was showing off. Big brother Yuan. Can you not carry my little aunt? You haven't carried me on your back, so how can you carry my aunt on your back? Zhao Ping's tone was full of jealousy. Zhao Ping, isn't this all your fault? If you didn't push your aunt until she sprained her ankle, your aunt wouldn't be unable to walk, right? But, that's enough. Don't say so much. Otherwise, I'll really hate you. Qin Yuan said angrily. After Qin Yuan said that, Zhao Ping didn't dare to continue speaking. She pursed her lips and had no choice but to let Qin Yuan carry Zhao Xinhui back. Zhao Ping had already cursed Zhao Xinhui in her heart. Despicable auntie. She would remember this. Zhao Xinhui lay on Qin Yuan's body and even deliberately turned her head to stick out her tongue at Zhao Ping. Humph. Zhao Yun saw that Zhao Ping and Qin Yuan had returned, but why was Qin Yuan carrying Zhao Xinhui on his back? Zhao Ping, who was following behind, was simply like a resentful wife. Zhao Yun's heart suddenly judged that something interesting had happened just now. Qin Yuan first sent Zhao Xinhui to the room. Auntie. Rest well then. I'm going out. Although he said that, he couldn't bear to do so in his heart. He glanced at the beautiful girl in front of him and couldn't even move his feet. Okay. Zhao Xinhui replied. Next time you come over, continue to play with me. Chapter 531. When Qin Yuan was about to leave, Zhao Xinhui suddenly stopped him. Qin Yuan asked nervously, Aunt, what's wrong? Come here. Zhao Xinhui beckoned Qin Yuan over with her finger. Aunt. Qin Yuan was fascinated by Zhao Xinhui's beautiful face and moved closer to her happily. Aunt, what's wrong? Zhao Xinhui didn't say anything, but kissed Qin Yuan's cheek when Qin Yuan moved closer. Qin Yuan was stunned. What was going on? Zhao Xinhui kissed him? Did this mean that Zhao Xinhui also had a good impression of him? Thinking of that, Qin Yuan couldn't help getting excited. If Zhao Xinhui also liked him and was willing to be with him, then even if he had to live a hard life, he wouldn't marry Zhao Pinger. When he was about to say something, Zhao Xinhui whispered in his ear, Let's go now. Thank you for what you did today. Qin Yuan blushed and stammered, It's nothing. I'm happy to do it. Zhao Xinhui smirked. Hurry up and get out. Otherwise, that last Ping will really rush into my room and cause trouble for me. Sure, Qin Yuan was reluctant to leave Zhao Xinhui's room. As he expected, he found Zhao Ping waiting outside and craning her neck to see what was going on inside. Qin Yuan frowned and hated Zhao Ping more and more. Brother Yuan, Zhao Ping greeted Qin Yuan the moment he walked out. Qin Yuan ignored Zhao Ping and walked straight away. Zhao Ping immediately followed Qin Yuan. Brother Yuan, please don't ignore me, okay? Shut up. Don't bother me. Qin Yuan and Zhao Ping both went to the third branch's room, and Zhao Yun felt the subtle change in their relationship. It was getting interesting, and Zhao Yun was curious about what had happened just now. Qin Yuan sat down in front of Mr. and Mrs. Qin without saying a word. It was hard to tell whether he was happy or not. Mr. and Mrs. Qin were chatting happily with Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao. Liang Jinxiao agreed. If Zhao Ping successfully got married, she would be given at least 5 taels of silver as dowry. Liang Jinxiao did not have 5 taels of silver with him at the moment, and he was prepared to borrow it from Zhao Yun and return it in the future. Zhao Yun naturally had no objections. If they really gave away Zhao Ping, this weirdo, she would be willing to give away 10 taels of silver, let alone 5 taels of silver. When Mr. and Mrs. Qin heard that Zhao Ping Er's family actually had so much dowry, they were even more determined to let Qin Yuan marry Zhao Ping Er. The two families agreed to the marriage for the time being. As for when the wedding would be held, they would decide on the date later. During this period of time, they could also let Qin Yuan come over more often. The two children could spend time together and cultivate their relationship. In the afternoon, Mr. and Mrs. Qin stood up and said goodbye. "Sister-in-law, that's all we have to say. We will go back first, and let Yuan come over alone later," Mu Chunfang said. Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao did not ask them to stay, "Then you can go back first." "Okay, thank you for your hospitality today." "Huh, it's nothing," Liang Jinxiao said with a smile, and at the same time, he went to the kitchen to take something out. There was 1/2 kilogram of meat, 10 eggs, and 2 fish. "You can take these back. It's also a little gift from us. We know that your life is not easy." Chapter 532. It wasn't appropriate for Qin Yuan to accept the gifts immediately, so he said, "Sister-in-law, you're too polite. It's already troublesome for us to come here. How can we accept your gifts?" "It's fine. Take it. We'll be in-laws in the future. You don't have to be so polite." "Well, we'll take it." Qin Yuan and Qin Yuan were delighted. They were just being polite. How could they not accept so many good gifts? "Mother, let's go," Qin Yuan said. "Be careful on your way back." "I know. You don't have to walk us out. Let's go home." "Okay." Zhao Yun, and her family didn't go back to the house until Qin Yuan and Qin Yuan left old Zhao's yard. Zhao Yun, impression of the Qin couple was even worse. She knew that they were greedy when she saw their eyes. She wondered if it was because they were too poor that they developed this mentality. Zhao Ping sat on the stool angrily. Liang Jinxiao asked with concern, "What's wrong, Ping Er? Why do you look unhappy?" "Mother, Aunt Qin seduced my man," Zhao Ping said. She directly called Qin Yuan her man. Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao frowned and said, "Ping, you're not married yet. You'll be laughed at if you say that." "Mother, I'll be married to Qin Yuan in the future. He's my man." "Mother, you don't know. Aunt Qin is too much. She can't get married and can't find a man, so she wants to seduce my man. Please help me." Looking at Zhao Ping Er's angry and anxious expression, Zhao Yun couldn't help laughing. Liang Jinxiao sighed. "Ping how can I help you? You think too much. Don't worry. Your aunt has high standards. I'm sure she won't like Qin Yuan. Moreover, Qin Yuan's parents have already discussed your marriage with us, so they won't go back on their word, right?" After being comforted by Liang Jinxiao, Zhao Yun felt that Liang Jinxiao's words made sense. "Mom, can I really marry Qin Yuan?" "Of course he can. Didn't you see that he didn't say anything when I told his parents about your marriage? Isn't that a tacit agreement?" "That's good." Zhao Ping suddenly felt much better. On the other side, the Qin couple was on their way back. The Qin couple was in a great mood. They ate a delicious meal and brought back so many good things. Mu Chunfang whispered into Qin Yuan's ear, "Yuan, look at this. Ping Er's family is really generous. If you marry Ping our family's life will be much better." Speaking of this, Qin Yuan pulled a long face. "Mother, am I really going to marry Zhao Ping What's wrong, Yuan Are you going back on your word now?" Mu Chunfang asked a little anxiously. Qin Dahai was also a little anxious. "Yes, Yuan what's wrong with you?" "Father, mother. I just think that Zhao Ping is too ugly and stupid. I'll definitely feel uncomfortable being with her." Chapter 533. Qin Dahai also agreed, Yuan, your mother is right. No matter what, you have to marry Pinger for the sake of our family. Qin Yuan looked at his poor parents and his foolish older brother at home and sighed. He could only suffer in exchange for a better life for his family. Father, mother. Fine, we'll do as you say. Alas. That's a good boy. After the things in the third branch were settled, Zhao Yuner went back. As soon as she came back, she saw Mu Lianfeng sitting on a stool. He seemed to be unhappy and sulking. Zhao Yuner felt curious. What's going on? Who provoked him? Mu Lianfeng, why are you sitting there like an idiot? Zhao Yuner walked over and asked. Mu Lianfeng raised his head with a bitter face and asked Zhao Yuner, who is the Uncle Lu that Dao De mentioned? Zhao Yuner was stunned. Why did this guy ask this out of the blue? Yuner, why aren't you talking? Mu Lianfeng sounded even more jealous. Zhao Yuner was curious why Mu Lianfeng suddenly mentioned Lu Lei. What did Dao De and Mu Lianfeng talk about? The corner of her mouth twitched a few times. It's Lu Lei. Don't you know him? Lu Lei? Mu Lianfeng frowned. He had a little impression of that name. He had met him before. Yeah, except for him, Dao De doesn't know any other Uncle Lu. What did Dao De say? Look at you, you're so jealous. Zhao Yuner couldn't help but tease him like a little wife. Oh, nothing. Mu Lianfeng sighed. Nothing? Zhao Yuner glanced at Mu Lianfeng. Do you think I'll believe you? Just tell me what you want to say. I don't like secrets and suspicions when we're together. If you have any doubts, I can explain it to you clearly. Zhao Yuner knew that if they didn't treat each other honestly, there would definitely be problems if there were suspicions. Since Zhao Yuner said so, Mu Lianfeng didn't hide the truth and told her the reason. It turned out that today when he asked Dao De who treated him better and who Dao De liked. Dao De mentioned that before Mu Lianfeng came, the man who treated Dao De the best was Lu Lei, the Uncle Lu that Dao De mentioned. At that time, Lu Lei often came to Zhao Yuner's place to help. Mu Lianfeng was very jealous when he thought about how a man often came to Zhao Yuner's side in the past 3 years. At the same time, he felt even more guilty towards Zhao Yuner. Why wasn't he by Zhao Yuner's side when she needed him the most? So much so that another man took care of and protected them. Mu Lianfeng also explained his feelings in his heart. Zhao Yun couldn't help but laugh. You are jealous of the wrong person. In fact, you should be thanking her, right? At least when you weren't around, someone helped us. As for me and Lu Lei, you don't have to worry. If I were interested in him, I would be with him now. After Zhao Yuner said this, Mu Lianfeng's heart suddenly became a lot more cheerful. Yuner liked him. It was fate. Since she wasn't interested in Lu Lei, why should he be jealous? He did have to thank him for helping Zhao Yuner and her son in the past 3 years. Chapter 534. Give him something? Yes, pick some gifts to express your gratitude. He helped you and your mother. As his father and husband, I can't not say anything. Wouldn't that make me seem very heartless? Zhao Yun was amused by Mu Lianfeng. He really had a lot of ideas. However, Zhao Yun didn't have any objections to Mu Lianfeng expressing his gratitude. If you want to give him something, then give him something. Mu Lianfeng nodded in response. For a moment, Mu Lianfeng didn't know what to give. He felt that it would be better to give him some money. Thus, he took out 100 taels of silver and said to Zhao Yun, take me there. Are you sure you want to give him money? Zhao Yun frowned. She felt that it wasn't very good to give him money. But we don't know what he wants. If we give him something impractical, wouldn't it be of no help at all? Zhao Yun felt that Mu Lianfeng's words were somewhat reasonable. All right then. Let's go. Mm. The two of them walked towards Lu Lei's house together. When Zhao Yun and Mu Lianfeng arrived, Lu Lei was chopping wood in his courtyard. "Brother Lei Zi!" Zhao Yun called out. After hearing Zhao Yun's voice, Lu Lei's heart was filled with joy. However, when he looked up, he found that Zhao Yun was followed by Mu Lianfeng. "Brother Lei Zi!" Zhao Yun came in front of Lu Lei and smiled. Lu Lei wiped the beads of sweat on his forehead and sized up Mu Lianfeng. He knew Mu Lianfeng's identity, but he didn't have any fear in front of Mu Lianfeng. He straightened his back and said faintly, "I don't know why Lord Shizi is here." Mu Lianfeng was not bothered by Lu Lei's attitude. Instead, he directly stated his intentions. After hearing Mu Lianfeng's words, Lu Lei frowned. He was not happy. His attitude towards Mu Lianfeng was still cold and indifferent. "Your Highness, you don't have to express your gratitude. I was willing to take care of Yun and Daodu back then. Big brother Lu, you don't have to be polite with him. With this money, you can buy some land. When the time comes, you can even get a wife." Lu Lei took a deep breath. "I really don't need it. Yuner, I appreciate your and Shizi's good intentions. I'm living a good life by myself now. I don't need to buy a field. I don't need this 100 taels of silver at all." Zhao Yun didn't like to force people. Lu Lei's attitude was already very clear. Thinking about it, sending money over was indeed too abrupt. "All right then, Brother Lei, why don't you come to my house for dinner tonight? Don't refuse this, okay?" Lu Lei couldn't refuse, so he nodded and said, "All right then. Yun, I'll go to your place for dinner tonight." Yes. Then I'll go back and prepare first." "Okay." Watching Zhao Yun and Mu Lianfeng's backs as they left, Lu Lei clenched his fists. He never expected that Shizi's father was Daodu's biological father. In this way, he didn't even need to think about being together with Zhao Yun. The last bit of hope in his heart suddenly disappeared at this moment. Lu Lei felt a little desolate in his heart. "Big brother Lu. They're too much." Xiao Hong walked over angrily. She was at the side just now and heard everything. Seeing Xiao Hong walk over, Lu Lei was stunned. Xiao Hong explained, "Big brother Lu, my mother made quite a lot of biscuits. I wanted to send some over to you. I didn't expect to see this scene." Chapter 535. Xiao Hong continued, "Brother Lu, aren't they just a little richer? They used money to humiliate others. Zhao Yun is too much. She clearly knows that you're good to her because you like her, but now she's asking the heir to come over and take the money to cut off all ties with you. She's a greedy woman. That's why she thought of using this method to humiliate others." Lu Lei said unhappily, "Enough, stop talking. Brother Lu, you still want to protect Zhao Yun, don't you? Don't you see what kind of person she is? Brother Lu, I know you like her, but you can't continue to be like this. There's no possibility between you and her anymore. Don't you care about my feelings for you? You know that I like you." As Xiao Hong spoke, she moved her body forward and wanted to stick to Lu Lei's body. "Xiao Hong, you're a girl. Don't be like this. It's not good if others see you like this." Lu Lei was scared and moved away gratefully. "Brother Lu, don't you like me at all? Why don't you consider me when Zhao Yun doesn't like you?" Xiao Hong's eyes were red and there were tears in her eyes. She looked pitiful. "Xiao Hong, give me some time." Seeing that Xiao Hong was about to cry, Lu Lei couldn't bear to say it. Xiao Hong was a little excited. "Okay, Brother Lu, I'll wait for you." Xiao Hong thought to herself. It wasn't easy for Lu Lei to be willing to consider her now. She would wait slowly. She believed that Lu Lei would agree one day. She didn't know that the shameless scene of her pestering Lu Lei just now had been seen by someone else. This person was Ma Xiaofeng. Seeing Xiao Hong like this, she didn't say anything. After all, Xiao Hong had helped her before. She couldn't tell others about it. However, seeing Xiao Hong like this, Ma Xiaofeng thought that she wasn't young anymore. Should she learn from Xiao Hong and take the initiative to seduce men? After all, she could marry a good man while she was young. That would make her life easier in the future. Otherwise, when she was older, her mother might casually marry her off or sell her. On the way back, Mu Lianfeng asked cautiously, Yuner, is Lu Lei very unhappy? What do you think? If we take the money directly, it'll be like giving alms. Will they be happy? Alright, it's my fault. Zhao Yuner sighed and said, there's nothing we can do about it. If you want to be grateful, I'll see if I can find an opportunity to help him in the future. Got it, Mu Lianfeng nodded. Zhao Yuner smiled. Don't think so much. Let's go back and prepare something delicious. Alright. Zhao Yuner and Mu Lianfeng arrived at the door of their house. Seeing Daodu squatting on the ground and crying, Mu Lianfeng hurriedly ran over and asked Daodu worriedly, Daodu, what's wrong? Did someone bully you? Mu Lianfeng's brows knitted together, and his eyes suddenly became sharp. As soon as he saw that his son might have been bullied, the coldness that burst out from his body made people feel scared. Daodu raised his head. Dad, Daodu wasn't bullied. It was Little Hay who was bullied. As Daodu spoke, he carried Little Hay out of his arms. Chapter 536. Daodu, what happened to Little Hay? Zhao Yun looked at the wounds on Little Hay's body. She was shocked and worried. Being asked by Zhao Yun, Daodu cried even harder. Alright, Daodu, don't cry. Tell me, what happened to Little Hay? Zhao Yun squatted down and touched Daodu's head. Mu Lianfeng also comforted him, Daodu, you're a man. Don't cry. Tell me what happened. Hearing Mu Lianfeng's words, Daodu wiped his tears and hugged Little Hay. Father, it was Big Gray who bit Little Hay. Today, when I took Little Hay out to play, we ran into Big Gray. It chased after Little Hay and bit him, but I couldn't beat Big Gray, so I couldn't protect Little Hay. Daodu's tone was full of self-blame. Little Hay was his companion, and Daodu felt that he should protect Little Hay well. The Big Gray that Daodu mentioned was Zhao Yun's eldest grandmother, Mrs. Hu. She was the one who had come to ask for help a few days ago. In Zhao Yun's memory, there was a big gray dog in Mrs. Hu's house. Its tail was cut, and it was very fierce. It was also very big, not much smaller than Xiao Mao. When the people and animals in the village saw Big Gray, they would avoid it. Otherwise, if they provoked Big Gray, they would either be bitten to death or disabled. Zhao Yun was glad that Daodu was fine. If he was bitten by Big Gray, his condition might be worse than Little Hay's. Zhao Yun sighed and comforted him, Alright, Daodu, it's not your fault. Let's check on Little Hay first and see if he can still be saved. Okay. Show it to father. Mu Lianfeng said. Daodu handed Little Black over. After Mu Lianfeng took it, he saw that Little Black was on the verge of death. The injuries on its body were quite serious. How could such a small puppy withstand the bites of a big dog? Mu Lianfeng frowned. It was a little tricky to deal with Blackie's injuries. Daodu asked worriedly, Father, can Blackie still be saved? Zhao Yuner was also concerned. After all, she had raised Little Black for such a long time and had long developed feelings for it. Zhao Yuner also did not want anything to happen to Little Black. Such a cute and sensible puppy had died just like that. Daodu would probably cry himself to death. There's still hope. Mu Lianfeng said. Really? Daodu's eyes brightened up a little. Yes. Mu Lianfeng nodded, but we have to treat Little Black's injuries first. Later, we'll go up the mountain to find a few herbs and bandage Little Black's injuries. It'll only recover after a few days of rest. Okay. As long as Little Black can be saved. Daodu said excitedly. Zhao Yuner hurriedly took out something like a cotton cloth and used it to treat Little Black's injuries. Just looking at the wounds was painful. Big Gray was really a little too cruel. He had bitten so deeply. Did he have to go so far for his own kind? Little Black's dying appearance was very pitiful. They did not know if it was because they had heard it, but it lifted its eyelids. Daodu looked at Little Black with a pained expression. Little Black, you have to hang in there. My father will go back to get some herbs to save you. You must be fine. Daodu still wants to play with you in the future. Chapter 537. Alright, Daodu, leave Xiao Hei at home for now. Let's hurry to the mountains to pick herbs. Mu Lianfeng said. Yes. Daodu nodded heavily. Zhao Yun picked up a basket, and the three of them headed up the mountain. Fortunately, Shui Lan village was next to the mountains, and there were all kinds of herbs on the mountain. Otherwise, who knew how long it would take to buy them at this time? Mu Lianfeng carried Daodu on his back as they walked on the rugged mountain path. Zhao Yun looked at Mu Lianfeng's broad back and Daodu's small body together, and a warm feeling appeared in her heart. It was good to be reunited with father and son. Daddy, are you tired? Daodu, do you want to come down and walk by yourself? Daodu asked in a soft voice. Mu Lianfeng's lips curled up slightly. Of course not. How could Daddy be tired? Daddy's strength is so great. Dodo sighed. Haha, of course. Daddy can only protect you and your mother with this. Mu Lianfeng replied with a smile. Then Daodu must grow as tall as Daddy in the future, and then protect Mother. Daodu's soft voice sounded. Daodu is a good man. In the future, us father and son will protect your mother together. Okay. Hearing the conversation between father and son, Zhao Yun's eyebrows were tinged with a smile. Perhaps this was the happiest thing in a woman's life. To have a husband and son like this, she was very lucky. The three of them slowly entered the mountains. The spring scenery was getting thicker, and it was almost March. The vegetation in the mountains was more lush, and there were many thorns on both sides of the road. If one was not careful, it was easy to hook one's leg and cause a wound. Mu Lianfeng walked in front. Whenever they encountered such a situation, he would specially remind Zhao Yun to be careful. After walking for about 20 minutes, they slowly entered the mountain. The herbs should be here. We can find them now. Mu Lianfeng, what do we need? Zhao Yun asked. Red-crowned crane grass, Hautuinia grass, and earthen cassia grass are all fine. There's also iron thread grass and white earth grass, Mu Lianfeng said. These were all herbs used to stop bleeding and prevent dog bites. Zhao Yun nodded and said to Mu Lianfeng, why don't we split up? It'll be faster this way. Mu Lianfeng didn't agree. Yun, let's go together. It's too dangerous in the mountains. If we encounter any ferocious beasts, how can a woman like you deal with them? In the end, Mu Lianfeng was still too concerned about her. He was worried that Zhao Yun would have an accident. Zhao Yun met Mu Lianfeng's worried eyes and had to give up. The weather was getting warmer and warmer. The ferocious beasts in the mountains were indeed starting to move out, as Mu Lianfeng said. If they encountered wild boars and wolves, they really couldn't deal with them. Okay, let's go together. Okay. The two of them searched for a while and found the Hautuinia grass. They hurriedly picked it and put it in the basket, then continued to look for the next herb. However, although there were many herbs in the mountains, it was still not easy to find a specific type. In particular, the vegetation was lush, and many herbs were hidden in the grass. It was difficult to find them in a short time. After searching for almost half an hour, they still couldn't find the iron thread grass. Why don't we go deeper into the mountains to look for it? There are more herbs there. Maybe we can find it, Zhao Yuner asked. Chapter 538. There was no other way now. If they didn't go in and try, they probably wouldn't be able to find the herb. Little Black's injury still needed immediate treatment. Mu Lianfeng pondered for a moment, then said to Zhao Yun, "Let's go in and try." Okay. Zhao Yun nodded. The three of them slowly went deep into the mountains. The vegetation was indeed a lot more lush. Especially the trees above their heads. They were probably over 100 years old, and their branches were especially thick. Because of this, they covered a lot of the sun, and the light inside was also a lot dimmer. And the temperature was a little lower. Walking inside, a layer of cold air was emitted from their bodies. Seeing Zhao Yun, curled up, Mu Lianfeng asked with concern, "Yun, are you cold?" "It's a little cold, but it's okay. Let's continue looking. It'll be good if we find it." Mu Lianfeng nodded. In the beginning, they didn't find the herb, but they encountered a lot of prey. But when a wild rabbit passed by in front of them, Mu Lianfeng picked up a few stones on the ground and threw them over. It was very accurate, and it was killed in one hit. The wild rabbit that was hit by the stone lay on the ground and struggled for a few times, but it was no longer moving. Zhao Yun opened her mouth in surprise. This was a little too exaggerated. When people went hunting in the mountains, they had to bring a bow and arrow. Otherwise, the fast rabbit wouldn't be able to catch up. But Mu Lianfeng, a few stones settled it. This was too scary. Zhao Yun looked deeply at Mu Lianfeng. She seemed to have a new understanding of Mu Lianfeng. He was so outstanding. She still underestimated him. This man was more powerful than anyone else. Zhao Yun also suddenly felt that with such a man by her side, she could really rely on him for a lifetime. Dao Du clapped in joy, and said to Mu Lianfeng, "Daddy, you're awesome." "Is that so?" Mu Lianfeng's lips curled up. Yes. Dao Du nodded heavily. "Today, you're the best Dao Du has ever seen. Can you teach this to Dao Du in the future?" "Of course you can. Daddy will teach you whatever you want to learn, Dao Du." Zhao Yun picked up the hair on the ground and put it into the basket. Then, she said to Dao Du and Mu Lianfeng, "We can eat hare meat tonight." Yes, Dao Du likes it." Dao Du couldn't help but drool at the thought of Zhao Yun's roasted rabbit meat. "Let's go. Let's continue looking for herbs. Little Black is still waiting for us." At the mention of Little Black, Dao Du's eyes darkened, and he seemed very downcast. Zhao Yuner had no way to comfort her, so she could only hurry up and find the herbs. Fortunately, they finally found it after searching for a while. Zhao Yuner used a small shovel to gently dig out the herbs, shook off the soil at the roots, and put it into the basket. "Okay, we found it. Let's go back and save Little Black," Zhao Yuner said with a smile. Dao Du's furrowed brows finally relaxed. Yes. Then let's hurry back." "Okay." Just as the three of them turned around, there was a sudden movement behind them. It seemed like something was walking towards them, and the withered branches on the ground creaked. Mu Lianfeng's expression suddenly became serious. His intuition told him that danger was slowly approaching them. Chapter 539. It's a tiger. Wild beasts such as tigers, wolves, and wild boars were the scariest in the deep mountains. Tigers were the kings of all beasts and were even more difficult to deal with. What kind of luck did they have to encounter one today? Zhao Yun's heart clenched. She knew that if the tiger couldn't defeat them, their entire family might lose their lives here. What should we do? Zhao Yun looked at Mu Lianfeng worriedly. Mu Lianfeng hugged Zhao Yun tightly and whispered into Zhao Yun's ear, Yun, don't be afraid. I'm here. Zhao Yun could only trust Mu Lianfeng now. This man would definitely protect her and Daodu. The danger was getting closer and closer. Mu Lianfeng's brows were tightly knitted together. He looked around and handed Daodu to Zhao Yun. Then, he hugged Zhao Yun, jumped, and landed on a tree. Yun, you and Daodu stay up there. Don't come down. I'll deal with that beast. Zhao Yun grabbed Mu Lianfeng. Tigers aren't easy to deal with. You should also stay in the tree and wait for it to leave. Zhao Yun was glad that tigers didn't know how to climb trees. Otherwise, they really wouldn't know what to do today. Mu Lianfeng shook his head, Yun, if I don't go down, that beast will still be guarding below. We won't be able to waste too much time with it. Don't worry, I'll be careful. But Zhao Yun's brows were still tightly knitted. She was still worried about Mu Lianfeng. Be good. You have to trust your man. I won't do anything that I'm not sure of. Mu Lianfeng said and gently kissed Zhao Yun's forehead. Zhao Yun blushed in front of Daodu. However, she didn't have the time to be shy at this moment. Facing such a great danger, she still didn't know if they could survive. For the sake of you and Daodu, I still have to take care of you for the rest of my life. I won't allow anything to happen to me. Mu Lianfeng seemed to be talking to Zhao Yun, but also to himself. Looking at Mu Lianfeng's determined eyes, Zhao Yun took a deep breath. Then be careful. This is for you. Zhao Yun took out a knife from her basket. She had brought it with her when she entered the mountain. It was the only defensive tool she had in her hand. Mu Lianfeng took it. As for the tiger, it had already walked over and arrived under the tree. It roared at the tree and opened its bloody mouth. Daodu was so scared that he started crying. Zhao Yun hugged Daodu tightly in her arms and covered his eyes. Daodu, don't be afraid. Daddy and I are here. Mu Lianfeng glanced at Zhao Yun and Daodu and jumped down from the tree. Mu Lianfeng, you have to be careful. Zhao Yun warned. After Mu Lianfeng jumped down, the tiger attacked Mu Lianfeng. Roar! The tiger leaped and pounced on Mu Lianfeng. Zhao Yun's heart tightened. Fortunately, Mu Lianfeng dodged. She finally breathed a sigh of relief. However, after the tiger missed, it attacked again. This time, it was more irritable. It bared its fangs and pounced straight over. Looking at such a huge monster attacking in anger, Zhao Yun trembled in fear. Her hands, which were holding Daodu, couldn't help but tremble. They were facing a tiger, and not something else. How could an ordinary person deal with this thing? After all, fighting a tiger with martial arts was just a story. Chapter 540. Zhao Yun comforted him. Daodu, don't be afraid. You'll be fine. Your daddy is so powerful. He can beat a tiger. Daodu is so scared that something will happen to daddy. If something happens to daddy, what will Daodu do? It wasn't easy for Daodu to finally have a daddy. Hearing Daodu's pitiful words, Zhao Yun felt her heart ache. Mu Lianfeng and the tiger were fighting fiercely under the tree. Mu Lianfeng was at a disadvantage. He could only dodge the tiger's attacks and not let it get close enough to hurt him. This was already not easy. After being teased by Mu Lianfeng, the tiger had used up a lot of its strength. Mu Lianfeng was also tired and panting. However, Mu Lianfeng would not take the initiative to attack in a situation where he was not completely confident. Zhao Yun watched the battle anxiously. She was worried for Mu Lianfeng. Roar! The tiger was already starting to get impatient and irritable. It directly charged over. The corners of Mu Lianfeng's mouth curled up, revealing a devilish smile. This smile made people feel that he was peerlessly beautiful and could cause the downfall of a city. If it weren't for this special occasion, Zhao Yun would have liked to admire it. This man was simply a demon. Just as the tiger was charging over, Mu Lianfeng jumped and landed on the tiger's body. The tiger jumped a few times, but unfortunately, it could not shake off Mu Lianfeng. Roar! The tiger roared anxiously. Perhaps it felt that it was in danger, and there was a hint of sadness in its roar. Mu Lianfeng seized this opportunity. Without hesitation, he stabbed the knife in his hand into the tiger's head. The knife was stabbed very deeply into the center of the tiger's head. The entire knife was buried in. Roar! The tiger roared a few times. After struggling for a while, it lay on the ground and did not move. It was dead. It was finally dead. Mu Lianfeng wiped the beads of sweat off his forehead and heaved a sigh of relief. Looking at the motionless tiger on the ground, his furrowed brows relaxed. If this continued for a while longer, his physical strength would not be able to keep up. Yun'er. Daodu. Mu Lianfeng looked at Zhao Yun'er and Daodu on the tree and smiled. Fortunately, with the danger resolved, he could continue to accompany Zhao Yun'er and Daodu. Mu Lianfeng leaped and landed on the tree again. He hugged Daodu and Zhao Yun'er tightly in his arms. Yun'er. Daodu. Daddy. Daodu also hugged Mu Lianfeng excitedly. Zhao Ping'er was very afraid that something would happen to Mu Lianfeng. Fortunately, Mu Lianfeng was fine. Immersed in Mu Lianfeng's arms, Zhao Yun'er felt that this moment was indescribably beautiful. Mu Lianfeng fought with the tiger for so long that his body was covered in sweat. Zhao Yun'er and Daodu did not mind at all. Because of this, the hearts of the whole family were tightly glued together. After a while, Mu Lianfeng carried Daodu and Zhao Yun'er down from the tree. Zhao Yun'er stared at the tiger on the ground. This was a good thing. Such a big tiger, its whole body was treasures. The tiger skin could be sold for a lot of money. However, Zhao Yun'er was not prepared to sell it. After she went back, she would peel the tiger skin and keep it as a treasure. It was excellent to use in winter to keep out the cold. Zhao Yun'er and Daodu looked at Mu Lianfeng with admiration. Mu Lianfeng stood tall in their hearts. He even killed a tiger. If word got out, it would probably shock many people. Chapter 541. Yeah, Mu Lianfeng replied. Daddy, you're really amazing. Can Daodu learn Kung Fu from you in the future? That way, Daodu can kill a tiger if he meets one. Mu Lianfeng laughed and said to Daodu, okay, then Daddy will teach Daodu Kung Fu later. Yes, yes. Daodu nodded heavily. Let's carry the tiger back. We can cook tiger meat for a few days when we go back. Zhao Yun said. If this was the 21st century, who could eat tiger meat? The country's protected animals could only be seen a few times in the zoo. However, looking at the tiger on the ground, it was at least 200 kilograms. It was very heavy to carry. Okay. Mu Lianfeng responded. As he spoke, he directly carried the tiger on his body. It didn't seem to take much effort. Zhao Yun looked at Mu Lianfeng in surprise. This man was too strong. How could he pick up such a heavy thing as if he was picking up a chick? What's wrong, Yun-er? Mu Lianfeng asked when he saw Zhao Yun looking at him in a daze. Zhao Yun reacted and shook her head, it's nothing. Let's hurry down the mountain. Yes, yes. Mu Lianfeng carried the tiger. Zhao Yun originally wanted to carry Daodu, but Daodu refused. Mother, Daodu is a man. Daudu has to protect mother. How can I let mother carry me? But the mountain path is not easy. It's okay, mother. Daudu can do it. Okay then, mother, hold Daudu's hand. Yes, yes. Mu Lianfeng walked in front, while Zhao Yuner and Daudu walked behind him. It was easier to go down the mountain than to go up the mountain. It was not as tiring, so they did not need to rest and went straight to the foot of the mountain. After entering the village, the villagers saw Mu Lianfeng carrying a big tiger on his back. They were so shocked that their jaws almost fell to the ground. Soon, the news that the crown prince was going to hunt a tiger from the mountain spread throughout the village. After Zhao Yuner and Mu Lianfeng went back, they first put the tiger in the yard. Then, they took out some herbs, ground them, and applied them to little Hei's wound. Change the medicine every day, and the wound should slowly heal. Don't worry. Mu Lianfeng patted Daudu's head and comforted him. Yeah. Daudu looked at Mu Lianfeng. Father, you're so amazing. You're the best father. Daudu is so happy to have a father like you. Because Mu Lianfeng could save little Hei, hunt the tiger, and protect him and his mother. In Daudu's heart, Mu Lianfeng was his hero. Daudu is so amazing. How can a father be bad? Mu Lianfeng smiled. Little Hei, you have to get better soon. Father has already prepared medicine for you. When you're better, I'll give you a lot of meat. Daudu patted little Hei and whispered into his ear. The little puppy looked up and barked at Daudu as a response. Okay, Daudu, let little Hei rest. Don't disturb his rest. Okay, mother. Let's go and skin the tiger. Hearing this, Daudu responded excitedly. After the family left the house, they found that many villagers had gathered in front of the door to join in the fun. Killing a tiger, this was too shocking. One had to know that many people who entered the mountains were eaten by tigers. It was because of this that there were people in the village who dared to enter the mountains. Chapter 542. His Royal Highness is really amazing. He even knocked the tiger down from the mountain. Yeah, not many people can do that. His Royal Highness is a hero. Such a big tiger, it's a good thing. Zhao Yun's family is going to be rich now. Fighting a tiger with his bare hands, I really want to see His Royal Highness's majestic appearance. That's amazing. Not only is the Crown Prince's status extraordinary, but his ability is also extraordinary. So, some people are destined to be extraordinary. Many women and young girls showed admiration to Mu Lianfeng. He was rich, had a high status, and was also very handsome. Now, he was so outstanding. He was the ideal man in many women's hearts. After comparing, many women thought of their own men and felt that they were too inferior. However, they couldn't get such a good man. Only Zhao Yun was lucky. The onlookers wanted to see how Zhao Yun and Mu Lianfeng would deal with such a big tiger. There was so much meat on the tiger that it was comparable to a pig. Zhao Yun couldn't eat it all. Would she share some with the villagers? Yun, how should we deal with this tiger? Mu Lianfeng asked. Zhao Yun stared at the tiger on the ground. It was full of treasures. Tiger meat could be eaten, and it had many effects. It could nourish the stomach and blood, strengthen the muscles and bones, and so on. It was a rare treasure. The tiger bones could be used to make wine. There were many effects. The tiger skin was also a valuable thing. It could be sold for a lot of money, but Zhao Yun certainly wouldn't sell it. As for the tiger penis, it was very helpful for men in that aspect. When men couldn't do it, they would often eat some cattle penis and sheep penis to strengthen their sexual drive. The tiger penis was more effective than cattle penis and sheep penis. It could warm the kidneys, strengthen the sexual drive, and nourish the marrow. Those rich and noble families would buy it at a high price. A tiger penis could be sold for dozens of taels of silver. Skin it first, but I don't know how to do it. Mu Lianfeng, do you know how to do it? Zhao Yun asked. Mu Lianfeng shook his head, I'm not very skilled. I don't know if I can skin it well. Tiger skin is a good thing. It will be a waste if it is damaged. You can't skin it casually. Zhao Yun nodded. It was indeed troublesome to skin of such a big tiger. If it was damaged, it wouldn't be so valuable. At this time, someone stood up and said, Little Yun, Lu Lei often goes hunting in the mountains. He's good at skinning. Such a big tiger, why don't you let him skin it for you? Why don't you give him some tiger meat later? Zhao Yun felt that it was quite reasonable. She originally planned to invite Lu Lei. With such a big movement in the village, Lu Lei happened to come to her place to join in the fun. When he heard the news, Lu Lei didn't believe it. The tiger's attack power was so strong. How could a person deal with it barehanded? He had been in the mountains for so long. If he didn't run in time, he would have been swallowed into the tiger's stomach. After walking for a while, he arrived at Zhao Yun's house. He saw a lot of people in front of Zhao Yun's courtyard. A tiger was lying on the ground in front of the courtyard. Lu Lei's eyes were filled with shock. It really was a tiger. It seemed that the villagers weren't talking nonsense. You're tuning into the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.